Well, the sun is setting and a cool wind is creeping in here at Hamilton Shoals Field in West Memphis, and it is finally starting to feel a little bit like fall in Arkansas. To help out, we've got week 3 of high school football here in Northeast Arkansas, and we have got a game on our hands here for you tonight as the Wynne Yellow Jackets are in town to take on the West Memphis Blue Devils. Thanks again for joining us on this Friday evening here on the Tubetown online Facebook page. Andy Maness and Ryan Short here with you. Ryan, both of these teams historically very talented, very athletic. Could be a little bit of a shootout tonight between these two teams.
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely geared up for a classic 5A, 6A matchup. I know there's a lot of West Memphis fans that have come out to support their home team, the first home game that they had of 2018. And I know if you talk to some of the fans in the stands tonight or joining us on Facebook, they're talking to their head coach, Coach Elmore, and they're saying, hey, let's go ahead and reserve the hotels in Little Rock because they're trying to get to War Memorial this year.
Yeah, and if you look at how both teams finished the year last year, West Memphis finished 10-2. They lost to Greenwood in the playoffs. That team would eventually become state champions. You look at the Wynne Yellow Jackets, they went 12-2 last year, lost to Little Rock McClellan in the playoffs, who lost to Pulaski Academy by 1 point. So you lose to the state champions, you lose to the state champ runner-up. Both teams, again, finishing very well last year, looking to continue that into this year.
Yeah, if you haven't followed Arkansas football very long, two powerhouses that you're going to hear is what we refer to as the University of Greenwood. They just pump out tons of talent. And then, like you said, PA, seems like year after year after year in the 5A and the 6A, those teams are making their way to War Memorial. But this year, the Wynne and the Blue Devil faithful are trying to make their way back there, and I think with the allotment of players they've returned for 2018, both teams believe they have a chance to make it.
Well, the Yellow Jackets coming into tonight's game with a record of 1-1, dropped an overtime game in week number 1 to Marion, a final score 24-23. Meanwhile, the West Memphis Blue Devils come into tonight's game undefeated with a record of 2-0. They shut out Little Rock Central in the opening week, had a bye week last week, and they faced off against the Chickasaws last week. A final score of 35-15 there. They went in a turbo clock. The West Memphis defense forced 4 interceptions, so the Yellow Jackets could have their work cut out for them tonight. Of course, the last time these two teams played was back in 2015. West Memphis won by just a point, 20-19, the final of that one. So hopefully some more fireworks to be had here tonight.
Absolutely. I know tonight this is really going to be our first dose of some full gear smash mouth football.
The Yellow Jackets will take the opening kickoff here tonight at about the 25-yard line, and the return man will dive out to about the 35. The ball popped out there at the end. The Blue Devils say that they recovered a fumble here, but the referee has yet to signal anything. And there it is from the white hat in the middle of the field. He's going to point the Yellow Jackets' direction, and here comes Wynne for the first time here tonight.
Yeah, that was number 7, Jaden Potter on the return man, went to the up back, and he was able to get the ball out to about the 34-yard line. I believe I saw the ball pop out, but there wasn't a white hat or a referee anywhere near the area to make the call. So fortunately for Wynne, they're going to have some good graces here before they even snap for their first possession.
James Holden Parker under center for the Yellow Jackets. Sends a man in motion, lost the snap, and a Blue Devil fell right on top of it. So might not have recovered a fumble on the kickoff, but they do recover one here on the first play of the football game.
Yeah, just looked like pregame jitters came right out of the snap and ball popped straight up in the air, as you see it right here on the Ritter communication replay. Never really had grasp of it at all was the quarterback right there, Parker. And unfortunately for Wynne, I mean, some people for West Memphis would say ball never lies, and in that case, West Memphis is going to get a very early chance to capitalize on a turnover.
Yeah, Allen Henry, the one to recover the loose ball for the Blue Devils. So here come West Memphis out on offense now after one play from the Yellow Jackets. At the Wynne 32-yard line, there's a hand up right off the middle. Across the 30-yard line, across the 25, knocked out of bounds just shy of the 20-yard line, but should be enough to move the chains on first down First down run from Latavian Thomas.
Yeah, good blocking right there interiorly, be able to seal the outside right there. That was R.J. Parker, one of the senior captains for West Memphis. As you see, tailback going to the far side and able to pick up the first down, get a good 10-yard run here on the first play from scrimmage for them.
Back in the shotgun is Owens McConnell. And flag comes flying out with about 17 seconds left on the play clock.
Looking across this offensive line for West Memphis, they have some big boys up there that are going to be really responsible for the protection tonight. And when you look across the ball for Wynne, something that they will talk about is their youth that they have. It's talented youth, but they are really expecting a lot from their underclassmen to perform.
Looks like that penalty was either going to be a false start or only too many men on the field. I didn't catch what that was, but it's a 5-yard variety. So 1st and 15, and now a loose snap for the Blue Devils. Ball rolls all the way back to the 45-yard line, and both teams struggling getting the ball to the quarterback here early in the football game.
Yeah, I'm going to tack this one up for just jitters here to go in the first quarter, but fortunately for West Memphis, they were able to fall back on top of it. They're still going to be looking at a hefty down and distance, though.
Yeah, 2nd and about, looks like 30, they're going to spot it. With not even a minute gone by here in the first quarter. Wynne's bringing a little bit of pressure. Blue Devils trying to find a running lane on the outside edge. The tailback will cut back up to the middle of the field. Again, that was Latavian Thomas with his 2nd carry of the ball game. Brings it up to the 35-yard line of the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, good 7-yard pickup, make it this 2nd down a little bit more manageable. Wynne brought the blitz that time on the far side of the field, and fortunately for West Memphis, they were actually planning the zone read to the opposite side. So early defensive aggression here on Wynne.
Another shotgun formation. There's the snap, looking to throw. McConnell over the middle, picked off, snatched out of the hands of the wide receiver, and the Yellow Jackets are going to get it back inside their own 20-yard line. Colden Davis. Nope, check that. Kavion Austin.
Yeah, you see right here, McConnell dropped back, and it was just a deep post route to the far side of the field. Intended receiver was Jimmy Phillips. Just led him a little bit too much. And, I mean, we're not even 90 seconds into this game, and both teams have a turnover already.
So Yellow Jackets will come back out on offense. And again, starting inside their own 20-yard line, right at the 17. Option keeper. Scampering out to the 25-yard line, now to the 30, and smothered by the Blue Devils out there on the far side hash marks, but enough to pick up the first down as James Holden Parker takes off on the option.
Yeah, the first few weeks we've been kind of spoiled here on Tubetown, watching a few different variations of the wing tee. Last week we saw it a few times. I know our first couple of games in Tennessee we saw some offenses run it, but tonight Wynne, they have perfected this offense as a 5A team and having success in the 5A. So this right here is their bread and butter, and great zone option right there for the first play.
Look at how many guys West Memphis has got lined up in the box, though. Here's a handoff on 1st and 10. Nope, it's another option keeper for James Holden Parker. He'll pick up about 2 on first down. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They're going to give them generous forward progress right here, and that's the goal of this offense. Pick up 2, 3, 4 yards each carry, keep chipping away, clock management. I mean, I'll be curious to see if later in the game, if they're actually down, if they put the ball in the air any. But so far, after that first fumble on the first snap of the game, they've really come out and they've sort of asserted their dominance on offense.
Parker giving the play to his team. Jay Nelson lined up in the backfield. Austin's going to go in motion. It's another keeper. Now it's a pitch out. And swallowed up in the backfield, tackled inside the 35-yard line for a loss. 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, just busted play from the very beginning right there. Something that West Memphis, their defense is taught whenever the far side back starts in motion and comes your way, the corner on our near side is supposed to go immediately to the ball. Rarely out of this style offense do you see a pass play off that. So simply trying to extend the play to the near side of the field isn't going to work for the down and distance.
So 3rd and 9 coming up from the near side hash marks. Ball spotted at the 32-yard line. Parker steps up under center. 4 down linemen coming for the Blue Devils. Parker looking to throw, steps up in the pocket.
Ooh.
Facing some pressure, just had to let that one fly, and there was nobody in the vicinity. Parker's on the ground, though, and a flag comes flying out right about the 35-yard line. Blue Devils defender is going to help him up, but that might be roughing the passer.
Yeah, I think it was, as you see the white hat right there indicating roughing the passer, just a little bit excessive after the ball was released down the field. It was very fortunate right there for Wynne. Parker, it appeared that it could have possibly been a tip ball that came out, but he had a lot of arm behind it because he out threw everyone. Simply at the end of the play, he just gifted Wynne a first down. I believe the penalty is going to go against Mark Robinson. He's one of the captains we saw for this West Memphis team.
Yeah, had a chance to get your defense off of the field, but instead it's a new set of downs for the Yellow Jackets. They have it now at their own 48-yard line. Two wide receivers for Parker. He's going to bring one here to the near side. It's Andrew Moore. Now he shuffles Kavion Alston around over there on the far side. Another option for Parker. Evades one defender in the backfield down to the 45-yard line. He does get across midfield and picks up about 8. That'll bring up 2nd and 2 now, and he's in Blue Devil territory.
Yeah, Parker's been making all the right reads so far here in their second possession after he fumbled that first snap. It seems like for the Blue Devils, they're sending a lot of pressure up the middle, and that fullback dive hasn't been open, so very smartly so, Parker's been able to keep the ball and get positive yardage.
6th play of this drive coming up. 2nd and 3 again from the West Memphis 45-yard line. 7:56 to play here in the first quarter. All of the Yellow Jackets lined up close to the football. So a pitch out wide to Alston across the 45, or excuse me, across the 45 down to about the 40.
A lot of misdirection here from Wynne, as you see on the replay, coming in motion the near side, and I mean, that's stuff that you practice early summer, footwork, knowing play calls. I mean, when Wynne calls the play in from the sideline, it may be labeled as a simple trap play to the right, but to know that the right wing back's supposed to go in motion, quarterback turn to your left, fake, roll back around to your right. Wynne is a staple in the 5A that they make it deep in the playoffs most years, and so you would expect anything else from a team coached by Coach Pascal to come out here and just be a well-oiled machine to start off 2018.
It's a lot of coordination you're talking about there on offense as they bring the chains out here on second. Well, second and third. It'll either be 3rd and short coming up or a new set of downs. They're going to reposition the chains here, it looks like.
I'll be interested to see what the play call is here, since it appears that they're going to be just short. I mean, you're looking across that West Memphis front. You got big number 52. He's lined up usually right over center. That's Allen Henry. And then there's a host of other ones in there that if they try a fullback dive so far, that hasn't been open at all tonight.
As you saw, they bring the chains over to the hash marks to see where they need to line the football up at. It will be 3rd and short coming up here for Wynne. West Memphis already got their defensive front out on the field as Parker heads back to the Yellow Jacket huddle. And here we go, 3rd and short here with 7:38 and counting left to play in the first quarter. Yellow Jackets will come out with 3 wide receivers. And again, that's Jay Nelson in the backfield. Alston standing at the tight end position over here on the left. Parker's just going to keep it himself and barrel forward, and he's got enough for the first down.
We mentioned it in the pregame. Tonight is going to be a healthy dose of running from Wynne. Definitely smash mouth football, but we didn't see much of the West Memphis offense when they came out, but very explosive, very quick. They have a lot of athletes for West Memphis, so tick for tack on both sides. It's 2 different play styles, 2 different offenses completely, but both, to their credit, can be very successful.
Yeah, still trying to find the rhythm. It looks like Wynne has found theirs now, though, as they're on the 8th play of this drive. Alston goes in motion. It's a handoff up the middle. No, it's a pitch out. Nelson with it across the 40. Tripped up, brought down at about the 37-yard line. Now inside of 7 minutes left to play. And a 2nd and 6 coming up now for Wynne.
Good option again, giving the ball up, pitching it to the outside, falling forward for a gain for about 3 yards, and Wynne just churning right away. I mean, we talked first 2 possessions took less than 90 seconds, but now Wynne on their second possession of the game they're eating up a bunch of this clock.
Second and 7 coming up. 2 wide receivers. Alston lined up in the tight end position. He'll go in motion. Hand off to Nelson. He'll try to muscle his way up to the 35-yard line. He'll be stopped just a yard shy at the 30, actually the 36. So now 3rd and about 6 coming up.
Yeah, first time we've seen them actually give the ball to the fullback going through the zone right there. He's only able to pick up 1 yard. So a good 3rd and 6 opportunity right here for the Blue Devils defense to step up and try to get some type of stop, because right now Wynne seems to be clicking on all cylinders, finding them legs about them.
10th play on the way for Wynne. He's going to bring everybody in close to the line. Bunch formation. Alston goes in motion. It's a pitch out. Across the 35, across the 30, and knocked out of bounds is Jaden Potter.
He's going to get a good 5 yards past the line of the game, but look here on the River Communication replay, giving the hard fake right there was Kavion Alston. And look at this block right there. He seals the corner, being able to get his back to the outside. That was Alston on the block, Porter on the carry. He's able to pick up a good chunk of yards, and Wynne's able to move the sticks.
Started with the ball on their own 17. And they have marched it down to the West Memphis 25-yard line. Huddle breaks, wide receivers go out wide. It's Whit Bassman and Andrew Moore. Nelson is in the backfield.
Oh, good misdirection here.
Option, Alston across the 25. He's looking for the edge over there, and he can't find it.
That was a really good misdirection play. First time we've seen that from Wynne tonight. Pulling guard from the left side, wrapping around right there. And unfortunately, he wasn't able, I believe, just watching here, Alston, I think he got caught up in the backfield just a little bit. Yeah, his lead blocker right there, I believe that was Wells. No, excuse me, that was Brewington that he sort of bumped into trying to get his legs about him.
Well, what a read by Parker, though, on the handoff, because there was a Blue Devil in the backfield ready to blow that one up. Alston able to pick up 2 yards. 2nd and 8 now coming up from the West Memphis 24-yard line. Inside of 4:45 left to play here in the first quarter. Yellow Jackets going to once again bring everybody in close to the line. There's the snap. There's the pitch out. Nope.
Ball's on the ground.
Ball is on the ground.
Fumble on the play.
And the Blue Devils are going to pick up their 2nd fumble recovery of the football game.
Both of those are going to be attributed to Parker. As you see right here, this is one of the troubles with this offense, is he goes and he, knowing that the end is going to collapse, he fakes the pitch and he's not able to tuck the ball, causing the fumble right there. I believe that was Curtis Hill for West Memphis that got his paw in there, and then he was one of the Blue Devils to jump back on top of it. Yeah, I'm not sure which one came up. There's like 4 or 5 hats on it, but
I saw big Hassani Adams in there too. I think was the one who made the initial wrap up on Parker. So now 1st and 10 for West Memphis from their own 24. Here's a handoff running right up the middle, and what a hard hit at the 30-yard line. Goodness. How you doing tonight?
Number 19.
I think he lost his legs about him, so that looked a lot worse than it actually was, and his head sort of went up at the same time, but still laying a lick on the linebacker right there as he's attacking the hole.
In the backfield is Kelvin Love, not Kevin Love. We got Kelvin Love in the backfield. That pass sails over the head of the intended receiver. I think he was trying to get that one to Mason Kearney.
For number 6, Mason Kearney is incomplete. It'll be
3rd and 10. Excuse me, 3rd and 6 coming up.
The wind's starting to pick up here a little bit in West Memphis. In 2011, I believe, is when they introduced this turf field, so weather will not be an issue. We're looking at blue skies and pink and blue clouds as the sun started to set here in West Memphis.
4 wide receivers set here on 3rd and 6. Toss out to the flats, caught at the 35-yard line. Jukes one defender, muscles over another across the 40-yard line, and that's Jatavius Tucker on the reception, picking up a new set of downs for West Memphis.
Good 11-yard pitch and catch, 5-yard route. He catches it, turns outside just like they're taught, made a man miss, broke through a couple tackles and able to fall forward. First completion we've seen of the game, 11-yard pickup.
West Memphis already back on top of the football. There's the handoff up the middle, running to the left. Right in the middle of the field between the 2 hash marks. Kelvin Love going to pick up about 2 yards. 2nd and 8 coming up now. He'll head off the field and get another spell back in there. Looks like maybe Caden Berry back there in the backfield. It is going to be Berry standing to the left of quarterback Owens McDonald.
Is that the third back that they've had in there today, Andy?
There's Berry on the handoff. He'll take it right up the middle to midfield. It'll be 3rd and short coming up right at the 50.
Good 7-yard pickup, and like we just said a second ago, West Memphis has had a host of backs carrying the load basically, and for the first time we're going to see West Memphis under center here for the 3rd and short.
Yeah, and the I formation with 2 wide receivers, 1 on either side. They're just going to power it up the middle across the 40. Plenty of daylight. He's going to head to the house. Touchdown, West Memphis. Touchdown, Latavian Thomas. Took that one the distance of 50 yards. And he puts the first 6 points on the board here in tonight's ball game.
50 yards, completely untouched. You can tell the Wynne Yellow Jackets were completely stunned by the I formation, something they haven't seen all night. Simple, I mean, power to the right, 50-yard scamper. And here on the West Memphis sideline, I see confetti cannons being shot in the student section with silly string. It looks like a full-on party here for the first 7 points at home. That should be for West Memphis this year.
I don't give them 7 quite yet. Colin Clark on the way to attempt the extra point. It is up, and it will go through. So
Point is good.
with 2:48 remaining here in the first quarter, it's a 50-yard touchdown rush from Latavian Thomas, who puts the West Memphis Blue Devils on top of the Wynne Yellow Jackets. We're back with more here in the first quarter. You're watching Prep Football on Tubetown, live, local from Ritter Communications.
You live. We put you first. Introducing You First Banking, only at First National Bank.
Latavian Thomas, 50 yards, power I, straight right side. He hit the 15, he hit the 20, the 10, and he was home free, running through the end zone, and throws his hands up in the air. He's getting back to the sideline to congratulate his team and his defense for an awesome takeaway after that Wynne drive that we were just almost certain they were going to take that to the promised land. Yeah, but West Memphis strikes first.
Colin Clark on the extra point attempt made it 7-0. Now 2:48 left to play in the first quarter. The Yellow Jackets will come back out after fumbling it away on their first 2 possessions here in the first quarter. Lost it on the first play of the football game and then had an excellent drive going. They started on their own 17-yard line, took it all the way down to the West Memphis 24 and coughed it up once again. They'll take this kickoff inside the 15-yard line. Now towards the middle of the field, picks up a block, a stiff arm across the 20. Plenty of running room down the far sideline. Across the 40, upended as he went out of bounds. A flag will come flying out. The ball spotted about the 44-yard line for the moment. Actually, they'll spot it way back at about the 40, but the flag is all the way down up there at the 44 and could have a late hit perhaps or maybe a holding penalty here on Wynne.
Yeah, good 28-yard return right there to get the Wynne offense back on the field, starting on the near side and working his way all the way back over in front of the Wynne bench. But it looks like this is going to be a late hit out of bounds. You hate to see that, especially on a successful kickoff for West Memphis. They just finally thought, okay, we've got the momentum now. We're fixing to come out and try to get another stop. Well, Wynne's going to start with their ball already in Blue Devil territory.
Yeah, I think that's the 3rd penalty committed so far by the Blue Devils tonight.
That is.
And the Yellow Jackets still have a clean sheet here with 2:38 left to play in the first quarter. Again, they trail 7-0. This is their 3rd possession of the ball game. Once again, if you're just joining us here on Tubetown Online, they fumbled it away, their first 2. Looking for a better result here on this trip. James Holden Parker comes back out. May have yet to start the play clock here. So I guess they're waiting till all the personnel gets on the field for both teams. West Memphis still looking like they're not sure where they want to line up here, as the Yellow Jackets are already here on 1st and 10. 3 wide receiver set. Looks like they've got a tight end out there as well. Nelson in the backfield. It'll be an option keeper for Parker. He's out to the outside across the 40 down to the 35-yard line. And a 1st and 10 now coming up for the Yellow Jackets after a 10-yard pickup.
I mean, except for the 2 fumbles that we've seen tonight from Parker, he's made a lot of good reads. He's had 1 pass attempt that he obviously outthrew everyone. But as far as his decision-making in these option plays, he's made every right call so far.
He's making his reads. They have just had a hard time holding on to the football here in the 1st quarter. Everybody ready? Another 3 wide receiver set. West Memphis with 7 in the box. Another pitch out. It's to Nelson. Trying to juke a man at the 35-yard line, but no going. And actually, that's going to be, that's number 30 on our rosters, but we don't have him listed here. We'll try to get his name for you here in just a little bit. 2nd and 10 coming up after no gain on 1st down.
Yeah, simple busted play. Whenever he got to that near sideline, just lost his feet about him, and he wasn't able to get any gain on the play.
So 2nd and 10 coming up. And they're going to bunch everybody back to the line of scrimmage once again. It's a pitch out. Wow. A one-handed catch by Austin across the 35-yard line. He'll make his way down to about the 30. What an impressive grab there.
Instincts right there by Parker. He knew what was coming. I'm not even sure if he looked to see where he was pitching the ball, but Austin was definitely aware that it was coming and just stuck a paw out to catch it. 3rd and 6 coming up for Wynne right here. They were in about the same territory last time when they had that turnover.
See if the Blue Devil defense can make a stand here with under a minute left to play in the 1st quarter. 14 seconds left on the play clock as the Yellow Jackets break their huddle. Whit Bassam out wide here on the near side, the lone wide receiver for the Yellow Jackets. Actually got 1 wide receiver lined up close to the line of scrimmage. Misdirection. It's Austin taking the handoff towards the right. He's going to be stopped in the backfield. 4th down coming up.
Yeah, tried another one of those misdirection plays where, fortunately for West Memphis, they were reading all their keys and they knew that the pulling guard, you just follow him and he's going to lead you to where the ball's going to be. And loss of 2 right there for Wynne, and I think they're going to tack it up about 4th and 7, 4th and a long 7. Looks more like 8 or 9.
Yeah, it really does. About 8.5 is what it looks like from our vantage point here on top of the West Memphis press box. We'll break the huddle and got a whistle blown. I think we've got a timeout on the field. Nope, end of the quarter.
That came up quick, didn't it, Andy?
It did. Golly, a fast 1st quarter here between West Memphis and Wynne. The Blue Devils lead the Yellow Jackets 7-0, and we're headed to the 2nd quarter. We'll bring it to you right after this. You're watching Prep Football on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
You've got a lot of choices when you buy home furnishings. There are many reasons to choose Hubbard & Hoke Furniture, Blytheville and Osceola.
At Hubbard & Hoke, you'll find a great selection of furniture, appliances, bedding, and electronics with outstanding service, 6 ways to finance your purchase, and free local delivery.
Plus, you'll get a great deal every day on name brands you know and trust.
Great deals, outstanding service, and free delivery. You're going to love
Hubbard & Hoke Furniture, Blytheville and Osceola.
Andy Manus and Ryan Short back here with you at Hamilton Schulz Field in West Memphis, where the Blue Devils have got a 7-point lead over the Wynne Yellow Jackets. We're here in the 2nd quarter. Thanks for joining us here on this Friday night on Tubetown.
Give you some scores from the Northeast Arkansas area. Earl is up 8-0 on Cross County. I had that score reported to me in the 1st quarter, and then after 1 quarter, the Rivercrest Colts lead Osceola 2-0. Colts stopped at their 1 on their opening drive, but their defense gets the safety on the next play. Update from Cross County. Cross County 6, Earl 8 in the 2nd quarter there.
4th and 9 coming up for the Wynne Yellow Jackets to start the 2nd quarter. This is the 5th play of this drive here for Wynne. We're going to try to move the chains here. 7 guys in the box for the Blue Devils. The rest drop back into coverage, sends a man into motion. To pitch, now looking to throw. Just gonna take a shot towards the end zone. Got a man wide open, but picked off at the 1-yard line by the Blue Devils. His wide receiver had to come back to get it, and the corner beat him to it.
Wow, what a play call on 4th and 9. Little misdirection. You think it could be the option, but they pitch it to the far back that's coming. He's standing about the 45-yard line. He had enough arm to get it all the way to the end zone, but that still wasn't far enough, unfortunately. And West Memphis was able to get interception. 3rd turnover for Wynne so far to start this ball game. Every possession they've had so far has resulted in turnover.
And this is going to put the Blue Devils at their own 2-yard line. They can pick up a big chunk of yards in a hurry with that man standing in the back of the end zone, number 39, Latavian Thomas. He took in the touchdown earlier in the first quarter from 50 yards out. See if he can break off a big one here as the Blue Devils are pinned in their own end zone. He'll take the handoff right up the middle, stopped right at the goal line, but I think Thomas was able to fall forward and
this doesn't make any sense, Andy. I'm sorry I'm talking over you right here, but Coach Elmore for the Blue Devils, he was standing out on the field about the 15-yard line. He had the back judge and the right line judge over there with him talking when the ball was snapped. I'm not sure if you can't see it in our replay there as you see the ball was stuffed right there at the 1-yard line. Coach Elmore still on the near side of the field, and he's almost made it all the way out to the hash. He's extremely upset.
And I think we are going to have a timeout now with 11:17 left to play here in the second quarter. Only about 45 seconds gone by, and already West Memphis wants to burn a timeout here to talk some things over. So 2nd and 11 when we come back. 7-0 is your score. You're watching Prep Football on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
The Jonesboro Advertising and Promotion Commission welcomes you to the Downtown Jonesboro Barbecue and Music Festival. This year's festival kicks off Friday, September 28th with the 2nd annual SCA State Contest and live music from Fuel. Then Saturday, it's the 10th annual KCBS Sanctioned Barbecue Contest with $10,000 in cash prizes. Then Saturday night, Smash Mouth rocks the Ritter Communications stage. Hey now, you're an all-star. It's the Downtown Jonesboro Barbecue and Music Festival, September 28th and 29th, presented by the Jonesboro A&P Commission.
Andy Maness and Ryan Short back here with you after the West Memphis timeout. We had a little discussion during the break. It seems Coach Elmore seems to think that the ball should have been ruled a touchback after the Blue Devil interception. Instead, the referee spotted it at about the 2-yard line.
Yeah, the referee on your left right now, when he was standing at midfield when the interception happened, he signaled for a touchback. Referee on the near side signaled for it to be marked at the 2-yard line. We now have another coach that's out on the field. I'm not sure who that is. And
he's back out at about the 15-yard line. And the officials are having a discussion.
They're going to reset the clock. I'm not sure. Just the spotting of the ball being at the 1 or 2-yard line, we're already kind of in a fritz because we're expecting some type of, it could be a safety, could be a busted play. You never know what could happen because play calling gets really squirrely when you're dealing on your own 2-yard line. And then
Brady should not have been blown at the time. There was a timeout, official timeout on the field. We're going to replay the deal, so it's 1st and 10. No timeout will be assessed against West Memphis for that timeout.
All right, so there you go. West Memphis does not lose a timeout after calling one, and that 1st and 10 run and a 2-yard pickup will be, I guess a 1-yard loss rather, will be negated, and we'll try again here from the 2. So now 1st and 10 from the 2-yard line. I formation. There's the handoff right up the middle. Thomas trying to shrug off a defender, gets close to the 5-yard line. They'll spot it, I think, right at the 5. So 2nd and 6, maybe 7 coming up now for West Memphis.
Just trying to get some of those yards back right there. I'm still confused on exactly what happened, especially when they said it was an official timeout, because there were multiple blue polo shirts out there on the field trying to discuss what was going on.
Thomas again in the backfield. He's going to take another handoff here on 2nd down. Runs into a wall of white and yellow, and he will be pushed backwards. Might have actually picked up about half yard, but either way, 3rd down coming up from inside the 10-yard line. So unfortunate for the Yellow Jackets to turn it over at their own 1 yard line, but if you're going to turn it over anywhere, it might as well be there.
Yeah, especially on a play where it was kind of a desperation play, trying to get more yards than typically in your offensive playbook. You don't really have a designed 9-yard play. So worked out in their favor to some extent if they can get a stop right here.
West Memphis, or excuse me, Wynne rather, with 5 men in the box. West Memphis going to throw here on 3rd down. Caught at the 15-yard line. A juke move to the 20. At the 25-yard line, all the way down to the 30 before the wide receiver steps out of bounds. That's Jimmy Phillips on the reception for the Blue Devils, picking up a new set of downs and moving the Blue Devils out to almost midfield.
Good 24-yard pitch and catch right there. Yards after the catch, really, because we see the same completion they had on their last drive, a little 5-yard stop. And then you're able to get yards after the catch. Poor open field tackling right there by Wynne.
Phillips still lined up out wide with a 2 wide receiver set for the Blue Devils. 1 back in the backfield. Connell's going to hand it off. Thomas smoked in the backfield. He gets wrapped up by Brennan Shaver, senior Yellow Jacket. It'll be a loss of 2, 2nd and 12 coming up.
It appears that he's shaken up a little bit after that tackle right there. Thomas. A little bit slow getting up, favoring his left leg, it appears.
He came off limping a little bit. He'll head over here to the blue tent for the Blue Devils. Same formation here for West Memphis. 2 wide receivers with the back in the backfield. Looking to throw out here to the near sideline. Caught and hit as soon as it hit his hands. Again, it's Jimmy Phillips on the reception, but Devon Light there to introduce himself this evening. Great form tackle, too.
Great form tackle, and then also great throw right there by the quarterback to lift it over the outside linebacker and drop it right in front of the safety. But unfortunately, you leave your receiver out to dry right there as he takes one straight to the chest.
Well, and yeah, you got to credit Jimmy Phillips, too, for holding on to the football there.
Absolutely.
Great football all the way around there. Now 3rd and short coming up. Low snap, fielded. Here's a run to the right side across the 45, down right in the middle of the field. And once again, that's Kelvin Love.
That gains enough for another Blue Devil. First down.
He'll move the chains. Another 1st and 10 coming up for West Memphis. And they're looking to get right back on top of the football here with 8:47 to play in the quarter.
Once they're able to convert that 3rd down, they're in their own 10-yard line. They've definitely got a new breath of life.
There's the handoff once again to Love. He bounces to the outside across the 45, the 40, the 35 down the near sideline. He'll step out just shy of the 30-yard line, and another big pickup by Kelvin Love moves the Blue Devils further into Yellow Jacket territory, threatening to get back in that red zone.
Yes, since Thomas came out 2 plays ago favoring that leg, coming into the game, as we've said his name already once tonight, Kelvin Love is able to get 2 nice little scampers here, and looks like the Blue Devils are just going to march it right down the field.
There's another handoff to Love. He'll bounce again to the outside, make his way across the 30, and be dropped right on the numbers. They'll spot him right about the 32-yard line, so, excuse me, right about the 29-yard line, rather. Now 2nd and 8 coming up. We'll see if they want to stick to their ground game. They've had success passing it here to the outside a little bit. They've hooked up with Jimmy Phillips a couple of times here on this drive alone. We'll see if their game plan changes if they get any further into Wynne territory. Same formation, sticking with 2 wide receivers, and once again, it is a run right up the middle. They are going to continue to ground and pound, and they'll be stopped at the 25-yard line, so now 3rd and about 4 coming up.
West Memphis is shuffling in so many backs right here.
Yeah, I think that was Caden Berry again in there on the run, number 20.
Yeah, I think the sophomore came in on that one. They've got a host of them that they're just filtering through, and as soon as you think you're going to get a break from one, a new one with legs comes in, and they're just grounding right away.
Jimmy Phillips again lined up at wide receiver here on the near side. Jatavius Tucker on the far side, but it's a handoff once again to Caden Berry. He's going to be hit as he crossed the line of scrimmage. I'm not sure he picked up any. Might have picked up one, but he paid a heavy toll for that 1 yard.
Yeah.
Got wrapped up by the leg there.
Yeah, good open field tackle right there by Devin Light to be able to bring him down right there, because if that missed tackle happens, you can only imagine how far Love's going to get with the ball.
Well, Devin Light, the one who made the stick on Jimmy Phillips moments ago. 4th and 2 now coming up for the Blue Devils. Got their offense out on the field. McConnell trying to get the play from Coach Elmore here on the sideline. They're going to go for it, and with 8 seconds left on the play clock, I believe they're going to call a timeout, and they will. So that is their first timeout of the half. 2 remaining. Wynne still has all 3 of theirs. We're going to take a quick timeout with them. 6:37 left to play in the second quarter. 7-0, West Memphis leading Wynne. We're watching it on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
Life doesn't always go as planned. So when a power surge affects your TV, or a breakfast mishap takes out your laptop, Guardware multi-device protection gives you peace of mind, knowing your devices will be repaired or replaced with just one call, and without breaking the bank. Protection you can trust. Guardware from Ritter. Enroll today to keep what matters most protected tomorrow.
Andy Maness and Ryan Short back here with you in West Memphis. The Blue Devils leading the Wynne Yellow Jackets 7-0. And the Blue Devils calling their first timeout of the first half. Wanted to talk some things over as they've got a 4th and 2 coming up. Offense all lined up near the line of scrimmage.
Look at this package.
Yeah, McConnell under center. He's going to hand it off to Latavian Thomas, and he gets swallowed up in the backfield, taken down by a host of Yellow Jackets, and Wynne, their defense is going to hold.
That almost looked like a basketball play you'd see ran in junior high, where the 4 people under the basket, when they inbound the ball, just line up at a wall at the free throw line, and somebody steps back and shoots a three-pointer or heaves it up there. But turnover on downs. I mean, we've been talking a lot about how Wynn's sort of been shooting themselves in the foot with these turnovers. West Memphis, a good 50-yard run to get a score, but right now it's still 7-0, 6:32, and we know how the second drive that Wynne had was so effective. If they can piece one of those together right here to wind down the second quarter, it could possibly work out for them, but you're not going to get there getting false starts on your first play.
Yeah, the Yellow Jackets going to be backed up 5 yards. I believe that's just their first penalty here in the ball game, so waiting till 6:31 here in the second quarter to commit their first offense. But now that will back them up to, I believe, about the 19. Yep, that's where they're going to spot them, inside the 20. As Parker comes back out into the field.
Wynne needs to keep it extremely simple right here. Where they've hurt themselves so far is trying to do too much on offense, and it's just it's the deep passes for trick plays and elaborate handoffs in the backfield.
Oh, that trick play almost paid off, but instead it was an interception. Now they have a 3 wide receiver set. It's going to be another keeper for Parker. Bounces to the outside, the far sideline, makes his way across the 25, which is the line of scrimmage, makes it to about maybe the 29, I think, is where they're going to spot him.
Good pickup right here. Once again, good read. He's had success doing this all night. Simply doing a fullback read. I've got him down for a gain of 8, a gain of 10, a gain of 7, a gain of 14. Each time he runs that play, he's able to pick up positive yards, but also to his credit, he's got 2 fumbles, 2 lost fumbles that has really shot his team in the foot.
So Parker will pick up 3 on that first down option keeper. 2nd and 7 coming up with 6:25 to play here in the second quarter. Clock is stopped as Parker went out of bounds. There's the snap. He's looking to throw. Got time, but he steps up in the pocket, dragged down by his shirt collar. Just shy of the 25-yard line. They'll be sacked for a loss. And now 3rd and 11 coming up.
Plenty of time right here when he was in the pocket trying to make something happen. And then, like you were just about to say, a host of Blue Devils there on the tackle, and I didn't catch the number of who was in on the
big Allen Henry.
Allen, okay, he's back there again, and he's causing some havoc for the Yellow Jackets.
Now, we called his name a couple of times. He fell on top of the fumble to open up the football game. Now he's, again, creating some havoc there in the backfield, disrupting plays in the 3rd and long. Now facing the Wynne Yellow Jackets. They break the huddle, come out with 2 wide receivers. They'll send a man in motion. They'll pitch out wide to him. It's Alston. He'll cross the 25-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. And it might not have been Alston on the carry, but either way, it was. Kelvin Alston on the carry there. A 4th down, however, now facing Wynne.
Yeah, not going to pick up anything. A lot of work there for nothing. And Wynne's going to have to bring the punting unit out right now and give it back to the Blue Devils.
clock is stopped at 5:33. Blue Devils gonna send 2 men back deep to return this one. Look, we got Jimmy Phillips and Devin Holloway standing at about the West Memphis 40-yard line ready to field the kick. There's the kick, a great kick.
Wynne got a hold of that one.
Yep, and Phillips came up to grab it at about the 44-yard line. Great catch by Phillips. Little center field slide there.
Good sliding catch, because like we said, the wind is coming in from the north, and as the sun has set, it's completely dark. We don't have the sun in our face anymore, but that wind has picked up, and you could see as soon as that ball got up to its climax there, it just absolutely died.
So West Memphis again leading this one 7-0 if you're just joining us, scoring off of a 50-yard touchdown rush by Latavian Thomas in the first quarter. Extra point was good, and they led 7-0 with 2:48 left to play in the first, and now they still lead it here with 5:25 to play in the half. Kelvin Love going to go in motion there as McConnell takes the snap, and looks like it's going to be a false start on the Blue Devils, or perhaps an illegal motion.
False start.
Yep, false start it is. 4th penalty on the Blue Devils here in the first half. Wynne with just 1 flag thrown on them. 1st and 15 coming up for West Memphis. I really thought, Ryan, at this point in the game we'd be a little bit higher, at a higher score than we are right now at 7-0, considering what both of these teams averaged last year. Well, 1st and 15 coming up with a 4 wide receiver set. McConnell looking to throw. Nope, it's a draw play. Hands it off to the outside across the 45-yard line. Kelvin Love on the carry will pick up about 7, maybe 8 yards, and that'll make it 2nd and 8.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see where they mark the ball here. It seems like they're slowly creeping it up the field, but good use of his blockers as he was able to get up the field right there and turn that 1st and 15 into something at least manageable. They're going to say it's a gain of 8.
Yeah, it'll be 2nd and 6 now coming up. Another 4 wide receiver set, 3 of them bunched up here on the near side. They're going to throw it to the near side as a screen for Jimmy Phillips. He'll make his way across midfield, knocked out of bounds, and that spot is correct. They're going to have him out at about the 45-yard line. The chains will move for the Blue Devils, and they're into the Wynne Yellow Jacket territory.
They haven't been too effective in the air, but the passes that they have tried to complete have been these little short screens and out routes, and yards after the catch is turned out to be pretty successful for the Blue Devils.
1 back in the backfield, 4:45 left to play in the half. It's a handoff to Love. Love swallowed up by a couple of Yellow Jacket defenders. He got taken down as soon as he was handed the football. Cameron Holmes alongside number 30. Don't have him on our roster, but got to credit him for wrapping up Love, driving him backwards. A loss of 2, so 2nd and 12 coming up now inside 4:30 left to play in the half.
You could see Holmes on that replay. He was the linebacker on the near side that blitzed straight through the A gap that was left completely open by the pulling guard, and he was able to come untouched.
Latavian Thomas back in the game. But as Ryan mentioned, that play going to be blown dead, and it looks like another false start going to be called on the Blue Devils. That is their 5th penalty now here in the first half.
You can tell they've definitely upped the momentum a little bit, but they've really only taken about a minute off the clock in this hurry-up style offense that they've been trying to get back on under center a little bit quicker. They've been able to pick up positive yardage, but getting a little bit too antsy with those false starts is setting them back.
Yeah, they got the ball at 5:25 left to play in the second quarter. Here we are with 4:12. Now looking to throw on 2nd and 10. The pass is incomplete. The receiver had his hands on it, had it pinned to his chest, but the hit from the defensive back, who is on the ground right now, jarred it loose. That's Devin Holmes who laid the hit. He is holding his left shoulder. Take a look on the replay here. Again, the pass was caught, but jarred loose there, and Holmes holding on to that left shoulder. Might have perhaps dislocated that shoulder.
Yeah, that's
Hopefully
a replay.
not.
That's a replay we only need to show once, because it was definitely a bang-bang play. Out route to the near side of the field, and the ball was in the air before the receiver even turned around to notice it. Luckily, he was able to locate it in the air, and he was able to get his hands on it, but a huge hit laid. And we just hope that young man's all right.
Yeah, he's grasping onto his shoulder pads there with Did bring up 3rd and 17, 4:06 left to play here in the second quarter. We're going to go ahead and step aside for a quick break as they help him off the field. We're back with more here on Tubetown.
How much bandwidth will satisfy your home's hunger? The average household now has more wireless devices in use a day than ever before, including TVs, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. HD streaming and gaming can use large amounts of data and slow down speeds for other users. The more devices you use, the more bandwidth your home needs. So make sure you have enough bandwidth. Get up to 100 megs with internet from Ritter Communications. It's the speed you need to power all your devices. Call today.
3rd and 17 coming up after the injury timeout. Devin Holmes able to make his way off the field. Here's McConnell throwing on 3rd and long. Caught at the 40, brought down at the 35-yard line, stretching forward to the 32, and a new set of downs coming up for West Memphis as Jatavius Tucker hauls in another catch for the Blue Devils.
Tucker running about a 12-yard out on the far side of the field. As you see it right here on the Ritter Communication replay. He has a corner that's playing 15 yards off the ball, so he plants, makes one man miss a tackle, and just Wynne defense way too lackadaisical on that play right there. Way too much cushion on the wide receivers, and new set of downs for the Blue Devils.
3 wide receivers this time for McConnell, but it'll be a handoff to Thomas. Thomas bounces to the outside, jukes one defender, makes his way across the 25. He'll bounce out of bounds. And he might have picked up another set of new downs for West Memphis. I think he did. Oh, they'll spot him just about a yard shy. So they'll say 2nd and 2 down on the field.
West Memphis keeps filtering these backs, one after another, and as they come in with these fresh legs, it's really catching this Wynne defense on their heels.
Yeah, Thomas going to take another handoff here. Chased down from behind, however, by one of the streaking Yellow Jackets is Cameron Holmes, the sophomore who comes off the corner here.
Andrew Moore, number 5 right here for Wynne, absolutely timed the snap and caused all the disruption right there. He was able to get the lineman across the ball from him, Smith, on his heels, and as soon as that ball was basically in the air, Moore was able to get back in the backfield and cause that loss of downs, and now it's 3rd, and they're going to mark it up as 6.
Toss out to the outside. Yellow Jackets knew what play was coming that time, though.
That's the last time they were going to let that stop route fool them in the first half. As you see, as soon as it come out, the outside linebacker, got out there. That's going to be Devin Light. We've called his names a few times already tonight. He's really being instrumental for that Yellow Jacket defense.
Can they make another stand here on 4th down? They had forced a turnover on downs to start the second quarter. Let's see if they can get one with 3:06 left as McConnell tries to draw them offsides with the hard count, doesn't get it. And I think we are going to have a timeout from West Memphis. We are. They burn their second. They have one remaining with 3:06 left to play in the half. 7-0 is your score. Blue Devils leading the Wynne Yellow Jackets here on Tubetown. Live local from Ritter Communications.
No matter what kind of business you own or operate, you need to keep it connected. Ritter Communications delivers the fastest business internet speeds available at a price that won't slow you down. Ritter offers reliable 24-hour service with network monitoring, along with the scalable options your business needs to grow. And we do it all on our own fiber optic network. The choice is yours, and so is the savings. Connect to something better. Call or visit ritterbusiness.com today.
Back here with 3:06 left to play in the first half in West Memphis. The Blue Devils have it 4th and 6, up by a touchdown on the Wynne Yellow Jackets, trying to keep their offense on the field. Screen pass out to the 30, across the 25, down at the 20, and it's another new set of downs for West Memphis. They convert the 4th and 6. Now they're inside the red zone of the Wynne Yellow Jackets.
That's enough for
once the chains are set, clock's going to keep moving under 3 minutes here. Like we've seen before, a simple out route. The person who broke up the pass on the previous play, when you're running that out route to the near side of the field, you don't have as much time for your linebacker to get out there and knock that one down.
A handoff to Thomas. Thomas trying to bounce to the outside. Now he's going to cut back the other way, and he'll be dropped right between the hash marks and he'll also lose about 6 yards. It'll be second and pretty close to 16, maybe 17 coming up here with 2:30 to play in the half.
Completely busted from the very beginning, and I believe that was we called his name earlier, Andrew Moeller, that was on that DN spot that just timed the snap and was able to get in the backfield.
Blue Devils taking no time to go here on second and long, and they're going to draw the defender offsides on the hard count. And that was Martarius Ross, who was trying to get a head start there. That's just the second penalty called on the Yellow Jackets here in the first half.
Looking back at that loss of 7 a second ago, just completely busted. Yellow Jackets completely snuffed it out from the very beginning, but after the false start, they're going to have it at 2nd and 14 for the Blue Devils.
Play action. It's another screen out here to the near side. Jimmy Phillips with it across the 15, down inside the 10. Came pretty close to losing that football, but he'll have it right at the 6, and it's another West Memphis first down.
Yeah, I thought the same thing right there. I thought the ball had popped out whenever he was fighting for extra yards, but simple screen pass to the near side. Great blocking by the Blue Devils. He was able to I think that ball did come out, and he just happened to fall right back on top of it. Mason Kearney was the lead blocker right there on the far side. Want to make sure to mention his name.
Owens McConnell now steps up to the 10-yard line. Ball spotted at the 6. It's Kelvin Love in the backfield with him. Love's going to take the handoff, trying to lower his shoulder. Get as close to the goal line as he can. He's going to get down to the 2. So a pickup of about 4, 2nd and goal coming up now. And it's Marcus Whitaker who's got to head off the field. Whitaker, senior for the Blue Devils, committed to South Alabama. Tell you a little bit more about him here in a moment. A timeout called by the Wynne Yellow Jackets, just their first here in the first half. We'll step aside with a 1:50 left to play here in the second quarter. West Memphis leading Wynne 7-0. You're watching it on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
Introducing Ritter Home Security. Ritter takes care of protecting what's most important to you, from threats like unwelcome visitors and fire, to making your life easier by putting the control of your home at your fingertips. Use the free app to shut the garage, lock the door, turn off lights, arm the system, and more. You can even turn back the thermostat to help save money on your energy bill. Plus, get a snapshot when your kids get home. It's smart, beautiful, convenient, and ready for your busy life. Ritter Home Security.
Back here in West Memphis after the Wynne Yellow Jacket timeout, 1:50 remaining in the second quarter. West Memphis with a 7-point lead over the Wynne Yellow Jackets. Wynne wanted to talk some things over. They called their first timeout here of the half, trying to keep Blue Devils out of the end zone. 2nd and goal coming up from the 2. There's the handoff across the goal line, but a flag tossed down at about the 6-yard line. And I think that was the 4th running back we've seen in there. Was that Marquise Hayes on the handoff?
Yeah, it was, but you see a little early movement right here by 16. That's Monteque Hill. He just got started a little bit early, had the weight on the balls of his feet, and he just fell forward a little bit. So what turned into a 2nd and 2 from the in the goal, 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line, if I can get my words right. Now it's going to be 2nd and 7.
Yeah, that erases a touchdown off the board as well. They'll back it up, as Ryan said, now from the 7-yard line. And Kelvin Love is back there in the backfield once again. He's going to take the handoff right up the gut across the 5 into the end zone for another West Memphis touchdown. Blue Devils lead this one 13-0 now. It's a 7-yard touchdown rush to extend the lead.
Simple zone option right through the middle. Something we've seen them run successfully most of the night when they're not passing the stop routes or the screen routes to the far side. So you can see this West Memphis team has enough going about them that they're able to grind, and the consistency enough to wear down this Yellow Jackets defense.
Colin Clark, the junior, on to attempt the extra point for West Memphis. Blue Devils averaging 35 points a game so far this year. They'll be well on their way to another route.
And the extra point.
They got a 2-touchdown lead over the Wynne Yellow Jackets as the extra point is good. 14-0. here with 1:43 left to play in the half. You're watching Prep Football on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
Until you've seen how fast it really is, some people's reaction to Ritter's 100 megabit internet might be like, 100 mega, huh? Here's how we describe it. Mega beautiful, mega fast, mega blast, mega party, mega Ritter. There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. In a word, that means mega fun. If you're not getting your high-speed internet from Ritter, you should. Call 888-336-4466 today. Only from Ritter Communications, right by you.
Law firm and Senator Keith Ingram.
Andy Maness and Ryan Short back here with you in West Memphis, where the Blue Devils are now out to a 14-0 lead in the first half over the Wynne Yellow Jackets. Yellow Jackets awaiting the kick after the 7-yard touchdown rush from Kelvin Love. Second rushing touchdown of the night for West Memphis.
Yeah, their fans on the near side. These West Memphis fans have shown up and they're supporting their Blue Devils. They've got once again, we saw the confetti cannons come out whenever that touchdown came, and they also brought out the T-shirt gun. That thing has a lot of oomph behind it. Shot it completely over the press box. I thought I was going to have to make a play up here for a moment.
Blue Devils getting ready to kick with 1:43 left to play in the half. Return man comes up to the 15 to take it. In between the hash marks, that's Alston out there, taken down at about the 21-yard line and helped back to his feet as well. I think that was Kendarius Moore out there on the tackle. Here come the Yellow Jackets to see if they can put it in the end zone here with 1:36 to play in the half.
Yeah, with only a minute and a half left on the clock right here, they don't need to get too much out of character. I know that you're down 14 coming out. You'd really like to have that lead to be only 7, but don't try to break too much character right here and outreach yourself so that if you get a turnover, West Memphis can be up 21 just as quick.
There's the snap. It's a pitch out wide. Across the 20, that's Alston on the carry. Dragged down from behind as he was pushed out of bounds. Well, dragged down and pushed at the same time, I guess.
Run out of bounds by number 10, Kendarius.
Picks up about 4 yards on first down, so now 2nd and 6 coming up. That does stop the clock, though, with 1:30 to play in the half. Wynne will get a little bit of time to get the play into their huddle and get their formation right. Second and 5 coming up. The Yellow Jackets still haven't been able to strike pay dirt here tonight, although they've gotten really close. Parker on the option keeper. Faked the handoff up the middle. Went to his left, and he'll pick up maybe a half yard. 3rd and short coming up now. Clock will continue to tick. West Memphis has 1 timeout remaining in the first half. Wynne has 2.
Making his way over to the far side. They're going to go to the wristband right here for the play call to figure out if they can muster something up to get this first down, keep their drive alive. They've still got 15 seconds on the play clock.
2 wide receivers, 1 on either side for Parker. You got 1 back in the backfield. That's Nelson. He'll send a man in motion. Nelson's going to take the handoff himself. He's across the 35, the 40, and tackled around his ankles as it's down to about the 42. New set of downs coming up here for the Wynne Yellow Jackets. I'll also stop the game clock with 45 seconds as the Yellow Jackets hustle up to the ball.
Yeah, good 13-yard gain right there, that fullback dive that we haven't seen very much of tonight. They're able to pick up positive yardage and get a new set of downs.
There's another pitch out, another catch by Alston. With 1 hand, he stopped shy of the 40-yard line. He's going to lose about 2 on that play, and that will bring up 2nd and 12 with 32 seconds remaining here in the first half, and Wynne is going to call a timeout, their 2nd here in the first half. So each team with 1 timeout remaining. The Wynne Yellow Jackets with the football on their own 39-yard line. We'll come back with 32 seconds remaining in the second quarter after these words from our sponsors. You're watching Prep Football on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
For your smartphones, tablets, phablets. For the browsers you carry in your trousers. Wowzers! For your big screens and small screens, short screens and tall screens, get speed that screams. From the top of your desk to the palm of your hand, it's the fastest internet speed in the land.
There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. If you're not getting your internet from Ritter, you should. Call 888-336-4466 today. Ritter Communications. Right by you.
Back here at Hamilton Schulz Field, Andy Manus and Ryan Short here in West Memphis this Friday evening, where the Blue Devils have a 14-0 lead over the Wynne Yellow Jackets. The Yellow Jackets trying to put one in the end zone here before halftime, though. They've got it 2nd and 12 on their own 39-yard line after the timeout. One wide receiver to throw to. They send a man in motion. They fake the handoff up the middle. It's Parker on the keeper, and he just gets eaten up right at the line of scrimmage. Might have lost a yard, so 3rd and long coming up. The clock will continue to tick. 20 seconds left on the clock. Again, West Memphis has one timeout remaining. It looks like they're going to keep that one in their pocket and let the clock tick down to 0 here in the first half. That is exactly what they're going to do. The Yellow Jackets already heading off the field. Now the Blue Devils do the same. So a fast-paced game of football here for the first 2 quarters. It seems like that first 24 minutes went by very quickly, but either way, it's a 14-0 lead for the West Memphis Blue Devils over the Wynne Yellow Jackets. 2 teams headed to the locker room. We're going to take some time and tally some stats for you. We'll bring them to you here in just a minute and recap that first half, get you ready for the next. Right after this, you're watching Prep Football on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
You live. We put you first. Introducing You First Banking, only at First National Bank.
You've got a lot of choices when you buy home furnishings. There are many reasons to choose Hubbard & Hope Furniture, Blyville and Osceola.
At Hubbard & Hope, you'll find a great selection of furniture, appliances, bedding, and electronics with outstanding service, 6 ways to finance your purchase, and free local delivery.
Plus, you'll get a great deal every day on name brands you know and trust.
Great deals, outstanding service, and free delivery. You're going to love
Hubbard & Hope Furniture, Blyville and Osceola.
The Jonesboro Advertising and Promotion Commission welcomes you to the Downtown Jonesboro Barbecue and Music Festival. This year's festival kicks off Friday, September 28th with the 2nd annual SCA State Contest and live music from Fuel. Then Saturday, it's the 10th annual KCBS Sanctioned Barbecue Contest with $10,000 in cash prizes. Then Saturday night, Smash Mouth rocks the Ritter Communications stage. Hey now, you're an all-star. It's the Downtown Jonesboro Barbecue and Music Festival, September 28th and 29th, presented by the Jonesboro A&P Commission.
Life doesn't always go as planned. So when a power surge affects your TV, or a breakfast mishap takes out your laptop, Guardware multi-device protection gives you peace of mind, knowing your devices will be repaired or replaced with just one call, and without breaking the bank. Protection you can trust. Guardware from Ritter. Enroll today to keep what matters most protected tomorrow.
How much bandwidth will satisfy your home's hunger? The average household now has more wireless devices in use a day than ever before, including TVs, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. HD streaming and gaming can use large amounts of data and slow down speeds for other users. The more devices you use, the more bandwidth your home needs. So make sure you have enough bandwidth. Get up to 100 megs with internet from Ritter Communications. It's the speed you need to power all your devices. Call today.
No matter what kind of business you own or operate, you need to keep it connected. Ritter Communications delivers the fastest business internet speeds available at a price that won't slow you down. Ritter offers reliable 24-hour service with network monitoring, along with the scalable options your business needs to grow. And we do it all on our own fiber optic network. The choice is yours, and so is the savings. Connect to something better. Call or visit ritterbusiness.com today.
911. 911, what's your emergency?
I'm home alone. Someone is trying to get in the back door.
Find a safe place like in a closet or under a bed, okay?
Okay.
Be very quiet, and don't worry. Your home phone gave me your location.
Hurry.
Help is on the way.
Only a dedicated home phone can quickly pinpoint your address for emergency personnel. Cell phones can't. Keep your loved ones safe for less than 60 cents a day with a home phone from Ritter. Call today or go to rittercommunications.com.
Introducing Ritter Home Security. Ritter takes care of protecting what's most important to you, from threats like unwelcome visitors and fire, to making your life easier by putting the control of your home at your fingertips. Use the free app to shut the garage, lock the door, turn off lights, arm the system, and more. You can even turn back the thermostat to help save money on your energy bill. Plus, get a snapshot when your kids get home. It's smart, beautiful, convenient, and ready for your busy life. Ritter Home Security.
Until you've seen how fast it really is, some people's reaction to Ritter's 100 megabit internet might be like, 100 mega, huh? Here's how we describe it. Mega beautiful, mega fast, mega blast, mega party, mega Ritter. There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. In a word, that means mega fun. If you're not getting your high-speed internet from Ritter, you should. Call 888-336-4466 today. Only from Ritter Communications, right by you.
For your smartphones, tablets, phablets. For the browsers you carry in your trousers. Wowzers! For your big screens and small screens, short screens and tall screens, get speed that screams. From the top of your desk to the palm of your hand, it's the fastest internet speed in the land.
There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. If you're not getting your internet from Ritter, you should. Call 888-336-4466 today. Ritter Communications, right by you.
High-speed internet for every grown-up, grandparent, kid, teen, and in between. Ritter's got it. Every JPEG, MPEG, and GIF for the working mom or the working stiff, loaded in a GIF. Whether you're a blogger, gamer, or pixel tamer, don't be a slow-speed blamer. Don't waste your time waiting to load that page. Get Ritter high-speed internet. It's all the rage.
There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. Only from Ritter Communications, right by you.
You work here, you play here, you live here, and yet most of what you watch on television is about somewhere other than here. Until now, we proudly present Tubetown, TV about you. Tubetown is a Ritter Communications exclusive network featuring local sports, community events, unique and original programming from our community. Tubetown takes what's best about television, what's best about the community, and brings them together. Tubetown, only from Ritter Communications, right by you.
Technology was supposed to make our lives easier. No one told us about the plethora of glitches, viruses, hackers, hundreds of passwords to remember, and getting all our tech to sync up. Introducing Tech Home. Technology made easy for you and your devices. Tech Home makes it easy to set up, protect, and enjoy your internet-connected devices anytime, anywhere. Security, password management, backup, and premium tech support. Get back in charge of your digital life now with Tech Home.
Satellite TV providers force you to sign a long-term contract, then saddle you with second-rate service and price increases. Ritter delivers TV service with stunning HD channels, plus bundle savings on the area's fastest internet, and a better home phone service with no long-term contracts, backed by our local customer care team. No contracts, no nonsense, just great service. Don't get stuck with a dish. Visit RitterCommunications.com to learn more.
It begins with a click. And no matter where you are, you have countless choices at your fingertips. On the road, on your break, even in your own backyard. A world of entertainment is just a click away. Simply go to RitterCommunications.com/TV Everywhere to get started. Ritter Communications, connecting you to everything that matters.
With so many great mega services available from Ritter Communications, it's hard to pick just one. Save a bundle with bundled services. Talk as much as you want, when you want, with unlimited long distance. Get the speed you need with up to 15, 30, 50, and even 100 megabits per second internet. Enjoy online bill pay and protect all your online data and devices with Tech Home and Guardware. With so many choices, options, and savings from Ritter, all you can say is, wow! Mega services, mega savings. That's Mega Ritter.
Welcome back to Hamilton Schulz Field. Andy Maness and Ryan Short here with you at halftime between West Memphis and Wynne. 14-0 is your score. The Blue Devils on top of the Yellow Jackets after the first 24 minutes. Still got 2 quarters left ahead of us, and it has been a fun one to be a part of so far. A rushing attack from the West Memphis Blue Devils has led to this 14-point lead, thanks to a 50-yard touchdown rush from Latavian Thomas back in the first quarter and a 7-yard touchdown rush from Kelvin, don't call me Kevin, Love earlier in the second. 14-0 Blue Devils.
Yeah, really balanced attack, as you can see there on the halftime stats by the Blue Devils. As we said, Latavian Thomas, he's had 10 rushing attempts for 68 yards, and that score on the ground so far, we've called a host of Blue Devils, 4 different in the scorebook, accumulating those 120 yards, and then of course passing. Most of those have come from short screens and simple stop routes to the outside. 5 yards down the field, stop, make a man miss, open field tackles, really killing Wynne. So 97 through the air. Of course, we can't go without mentioning the turnover that the Blue Devils have in the first half, that coming from the interception that we saw in their first possession.
That's right. You see three turnovers there on your screen, and as Ryan just mentioned, the fumble to open up the very first play of the football game from the Wynne Yellow Jackets. 2 fumbles. They've also had an interception, and then they've just had to punt it away. They have not been able to find the end zone through the first 2 quarters, but they still have 2 quarters to work some things out to try to get back in this one. What do you think they need to do here in the second half, Ryan, to put some points on the scoreboard and get past this West Memphis defense, who's playing so far lights out?
So far they've got 70. Obviously, let's talk about the passing so far. 2 passing attempts. One was an incomplete, overthrown receiver by 15-20 yards. We're not really going to consider that one. And then the trick play interception. So ground attack is where they need to stick to here in the second half. They've had most of their success coming off of the heels of Parker, doing that fullback read and then just simply going to the B gap and picking up yards. Him alone, he has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 carries, accumulating most of the yards for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah,
so I know it eats up a ton of clock, and I know that they're going to come out and they're not going to get the ball to start the second half. West Memphis is going to start with possession in the second half, but you have to trust the process. If you ever heard that, if you're a Philadelphia fan, trust the process, come out, do what is successful for you. Do not try to pretend like you're a spread offense, that you can sling it all over the field, because that's not successful for you. So I hope when they come out, they're synchronized, they're able to get their run game going, and for defensively for Wynne, they need to get a stop. They need to not allow the big play and just
the Blue Devil marching band
not
under the field command
have silly turnovers.
Yeah, they've given up a couple of big passes on the outside. I mean, not to talk about their rushing game, but they've given up a couple of big passes on the outside. You did see them shut down one of those passes out to the flats on the out route. But yeah, their corners are getting beat. They definitely need to try to stop the big plays from happening, because they are getting beat on the edges.
One last thing I want to say about Wynne's offense. So they have 26 plays from scrimmage in the first half. 24 of the 26 have been on the ground. They need to stick with that. I mean, I understand there is a time and place to run a pass play, but so far it hasn't worked for them tonight. Watch the announcers curse. They're going to come out first offensive play and run a slant route for 97 yards, something crazy like that. But in my personal opinion, they need to just keep the ball on the ground.
Yeah, they need to keep running that quarterback option. You've talked about James Holden Parker running. He's been making his reads correctly all night long. They just have not, again, been able to find pay dirt. 14-0 is your score at the half. The West Memphis Blue Devils leading the Wynne Yellow Jackets. And got some scores I think we need to relay your way here before we head to a break.
Yeah, absolutely. We know that most of the fandom that comes for Wynne and for West Memphis is going to be here tonight. But if you're at a game on a Friday night, we want to make sure we pass along other scores that we have around from Northeast Arkansas. Truman and Paragould tied at 7 at the half. Southside Batesville's up 14-0 on Pocahontas at the half. I got a second quarter update. Walnut Ridge 14, Salem 6. Cross County is down 6-16 at Earl in the second quarter. Corning. They've struggled. We know the Corning struggles. That losing streak at 34 games, and it looks like that EPC is going to take care of them tonight as well. Last score I have from them, 12-0 EPC. So we're going to keep our eye on some of the scores in Northeast Arkansas. We're going to bring those to you when we have them, especially as they start winding down here in the later stages of the evening.
That's right. We'll take another break here at halftime. We'll come back and set you up for the third quarter here in just a moment. Again, it is 14-0 West Memphis leading the Wynne Yellow Jackets here at halftime. We're back with more here on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
You live. We put you first. Introducing You First Banking, only at First National Bank.
You've got a lot of choices when you buy home furnishings. There are many reasons to choose Hubbard & Hope Furniture, Blytheville and Osceola.
At Hubbard & Hope, you'll find a great selection of furniture, appliances, bedding, and electronics with outstanding service, 6 ways to finance your purchase, and free local delivery.
Plus, you'll get a great deal every day on name brands you know and trust.
Great deals, outstanding service, and free delivery. You're going to love
Hubbard & Hope Furniture, Blytheville and Osceola.
The Jonesboro Advertising and Promotion Commission welcomes you to the Downtown Jonesboro Barbecue and Music Festival. This year's festival kicks off Friday, September 28th with the 2nd annual SCA State Contest and live music from Fuel. Then Saturday, it's the 10th annual KCBS Sanctioned Barbecue Contest with $10,000 in cash prizes. Then Saturday night, Smash Mouth rocks the Ritter Communications stage. Hey now, you're an all-star. It's the Downtown Jonesboro Barbecue and Music Festival, September 28th and 29th, presented by the Jonesboro A&P Commission.
Life doesn't always go as planned. So when a power surge affects your TV, or a breakfast mishap takes out your laptop, Guardware multi-device protection gives you peace of mind, knowing your devices will be repaired or replaced with just one call, and without breaking the bank. Protection you can trust. Guardware from Ritter. Enroll today to keep what matters most protected tomorrow.
How much bandwidth will satisfy your home's hunger? The average household now has more wireless devices in use a day than ever before, including TVs, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. HD streaming and gaming can use large amounts of data and slow down speeds for other users. The more devices you use, the more bandwidth your home needs. So make sure you have enough bandwidth. Get up to 100 megs with internet from Ritter Communications. It's the speed you need to power all your devices. Call today.
No matter what kind of business you own or operate, you need to keep it connected. Ritter Communications delivers the fastest business internet speeds available at a price that won't slow you down. Ritter offers reliable 24-hour service with network monitoring, along with the scalable options your business needs to grow. And we do it all on our own fiber optic network. The choice is yours, and so is the savings. Connect to something better. Call or visit ritterbusiness.com today.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm home alone. Someone is trying to get in the back door.
Find a safe place like in a closet or under a bed, okay?
Okay.
Be very quiet and don't worry. Your home phone gave me your location.
Hurry.
Help is on the way.
Only a dedicated home phone can quickly pinpoint your address for emergency personnel. Cell phones can't. Keep your loved ones safe for less than 60 cents a day with a home phone from Ritter. Call today or go to rittercommunications.com.
Introducing Ritter Home Security. Ritter takes care of protecting what's most important to you, from threats like unwelcome visitors and fire, to making your life easier by putting the control of your home at your fingertips. Use the free app to shut the garage, lock the door, turn off lights, arm the system, and more. You can even turn back the thermostat to help save money on your energy bill. Plus, get a snapshot when your kids get home. It's smart, beautiful, convenient, and ready for your busy life. Ritter Home Security.
Until you've seen how fast it really is, some people's reaction to Ritter's 100 megabit internet might be like, 100 mega, huh? Here's how we describe it. Mega beautiful, mega fast, mega blast, mega party, mega Ritter. There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. In a word, that means mega fun. If you're not getting your high-speed internet from Ritter, you should. Call 888-336-4466 today. Only from Ritter Communications, right by you.
For your smartphones, tablets, phablets. For the browsers you carry in your trousers. Wowzers! For your big screens and small screens, short screens and tall screens, get speed that screams. From the top of your desk to the palm of your hand, it's the fastest internet speed in the land.
There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. If you're not getting your internet from Ritter, you should. Call 888-336-4466 today. Ritter Communications, right by you.
High-speed internet for every grown-up, grandparent, kid, teen, and in between. Ritter's got it. Every JPEG, MPEG, and GIF for the working mom or the working stiff, loaded in a GIF. Whether you're a blogger, gamer, or pixel tamer, don't be a slow-speed blamer. Don't waste your time waiting to load that page. Get Ritter high-speed internet. It's all the rage.
There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. Only from Ritter Communications, right by you.
You work here, you play here, you live here, and yet most of what you watch on television is about somewhere other than here. Until now, we proudly present Tubetown, TV about you. Tubetown is a Ritter Communications exclusive network featuring local sports, community events, unique and original programming from our community. Tubetown takes what's best about television, what's best about the community, and brings them together. Tubetown, only from Ritter Communications, right by you.
Technology was supposed to make our lives easier. No one told us about the plethora of glitches, viruses, hackers, hundreds of passwords to remember, and getting all our tech to sync up. Introducing Tech Home. Technology made easy for you and your devices. Tech Home makes it easy to set up, protect, and enjoy your internet-connected devices anytime, anywhere. Security, password management, backup, and premium tech support. Get back in charge of your digital life now with Tech Home.
Satellite TV providers force you to sign a long-term contract, then saddle you with second-rate service and price increases. Ritter delivers TV service with stunning HD channels, plus bundle savings on the area's fastest internet, and a better home phone service with no long-term contracts, backed by our local customer care team. No contracts, no nonsense, just great service. Don't get stuck with a dish. Visit RitterCommunications.com to learn more.
It begins with a click. And no matter where you are, you have countless choices at your fingertips. On the road, on your break, even in your own backyard. A world of entertainment is just a click away. Simply go to RitterCommunications.com/TV Everywhere to get started. Ritter Communications, connecting you to everything that matters.
With so many great mega services available from Ritter Communications, it's hard to pick just one. Save a bundle with bundled services. Talk as much as you want, when you want, with unlimited long distance. Get the speed you need with up to 15, 30, 50, and even 100 megabits per second internet. Enjoy online bill pay and protect all your online data and devices with Tech Home and Guardware. With so many choices, options, and savings from Ritter, all you can say is, wow! Mega services, mega savings. That's Mega Ritter.
You live. We put you first. Introducing You First Banking, only at First National Bank.
You've got a lot of choices when you buy home furnishings. There are many reasons to choose Hubbard & Hope Furniture, Blyville and Osceola.
At Hubbard & Hope, you'll find a great selection of furniture, appliances, bedding, and electronics with outstanding service, 6 ways to finance your purchase, and free local delivery.
Plus, you'll get a great deal every day on name brands you know and trust.
Great deals, outstanding service, and free delivery. You're going to love
Hubbard & Hope Furniture, Blyville and Osceola.
Andy Manus and Ryan Short back with you here at Hamilton Shoals, getting ready for the third quarter between West Memphis and Wynne. Your score after the first two quarters, 14-0. The Blue Devils ahead of the Yellow Jackets and looking to extend their lead. As we start the third quarter, they're going to have the football first.
Yep, we've been sitting through halftime right now. Both bands came out and performed, and I know this has been a little bit of a lengthier halftime than what you're used to experiencing here on Tubetown. They momentarily stopped the clock. I'm guessing the performance went a little bit long, and right now the Yellow Jackets are out on the field. You can see them at the top of your screen running and stretching, and on the far side of the field, the Blue Devils are just now making their way out. So I'm sure they're going to tack on a few more minutes here before we get back to action, but like we said earlier when we were bringing you those halftime stats, the Blue Devils will have possession whenever the second half starts.
Yeah, both teams back out onto the field now, going through their stretches. We're just up here hanging out on top of the West Memphis press box. It's cooled off significantly than it was earlier this evening when we started this football game. It was probably, I think it was somewhere around 88 degrees when we started this one, and since the sun is set, the wind has started to pick up just a little bit. It has cooled things off significantly, so I think it's just been a pleasant night for football overall.
Hey, it's been a pleasant night to bring Tubetown back to West Memphis. They've been playing these slow jams all night. And we have the privilege of being up here on top of the press box, and the PA speakers are right here beside us, and looking across, there's plenty of high school and I'm sure junior high and middle school students that have started to break it down for Tubetown.
Just to recap some of those first half stats you see on your screen there. Again, Latavian Thomas with 10 rushes for 68 yards and a touchdown. 50 of those yards coming on that touchdown run in the first quarter. He scored with 2:48 left to play in the first. And Kelvin Love, he scored as well. 7-yard touchdown rush there in the second quarter with 1:43 left to play in the half. He was able to scamper across the goal line. They kicked the extra point, and that's why they lead 14-0. Those 3 turnovers from the Wynne Yellow Jackets kind of helping out the Blue Devil cause tonight.
Yeah, the first turnover coming from their first play from the line of scrimmage, being that botched snap that ended up going in favor of the Blue Devils, and then we saw another fumble during probably one of the most successful drives they've had tonight. It was I believe you said earlier, play count was in the teens, and they marched it all the way down the field, and then another forced fumble, and then of course we had that interception that took place on that trick play.
Got about a minute left on the clock here before we end halftime. Both of these teams getting ready to huddle up and make their way to the respective sidelines. I want to remind you that tonight's game is brought to you by First National Bank and Hubbard & Hoke Furniture. I also want to make sure to remind you that you follow us on social media. Go ahead and like us on Facebook. Make sure you follow us on Twitter as well. Just search for Tubetown Online.
Looks like we're almost ready to play some football.
You look at the penalties for the first half. West Memphis ended the first half with 6. Meanwhile, Wynne had a fairly clean sheet with only 2 to their credit.
Yeah, I think total penalties for Wynne only racked up about 10 yards. I think it was a false start on one occasion, and then a false start or legal procedure on the other. And then, unfortunately for the Blue Devils, they racked up 2 15s, roughing the passer and unsportsmanlike, and then they had a host of false starts for themselves too.
West Memphis kick return team making their way out right now. The return man for the Blue Devils going to be Marquise Hayes. Here come the Yellow Jackets. Always good when you got a little queen going here to start the third
I'm pumped
quarter.
right now, Andy. I've been up here grooving. I don't have anybody looking at me to see my terrible dance moves. Man, They've got a good selection. That's one thing that we haven't seen in some of these venues is that they've had themes for their student section. So I think last week was a luau when we were expecting all that rain, so they were playing some interesting like Beach Boys music. Really didn't feel like football, but tonight definitely does.
Looks like James Holden Parker, the quarterback for the Wynne Yellow Jackets, is on to kick this one away. 2 men back deep to return here for the Blue Devils. What a kick there from Parker.
Nice catch.
Catch over the shoulder. Now taken back to the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25, the 30. Cuts to the sideline and dragged by his shoulder pads out of bounds. But an excellent return for great field position. Devin Holloway on the return.
First time we've called his name tonight, and that's one risk you run whenever you have a kicker that has a boot on him. He sometimes out-kicks his coverage, and I think that's what happened there is you see the over-the-shoulder catch, and by the time he had a full head of steam, he had already reached the 15-yard line, and he didn't have anyone touch him, so I think he was about at the 35-40 right there.
Yeah.
First man to touch him was the one to bring him down.
He had plenty of room to get to top speed before he even got to the kick return team. From their own 44-yard line, Owens McConnell will come back out with a 4 wide receiver set. Directing traffic over there, sends one of his receivers in motion. It's Phillips. Phillips looking for a block from Thomas. Got one at the 45, still on his feet across the 50. Down near the first down marker. He'll be dropped just shy of it. Should be 2nd and 2 coming up. Nice little pickup on first down there on the jet sweep from Jimmy Phillips.
He had a great stiff arm there at the end of the play too. Unfortunately, it went against his own player all the way, sent him flying when he was trying to pick up extra yards.
2nd and short coming up. McConnell getting the play. He'll deliver it to the core standing right over there at the 47-yard line. Far side hash marks. It's a 3 wide receiver look for McConnell. One back in the backfield, and he'll get the handoff. That's Thomas. Thomas trying to bounce it to the outside edge, but can't find any running room. He's stopped by Whit Bassam, and he is stopped right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. So 3rd and 2 coming up here.
We've seen a healthy dose of Thomas tonight, and one thing I'll mention with him, the young man, he's low to the ground, but he also has really shifty hips. So whenever he does prepare to make those moves, he plants his foot, and you can't really tell which way he's planning on going.
2 wide receiver look this time, and it's another handoff to Thomas. Trying to find the first down marker, and I don't think he got it. He'll be stopped right at the line of scrimmage once again, so the Yellow Jacket D will force a 4th down right at midfield. West Memphis looks like they're going to keep their offense out on the field.
For the Yellow Jackets, I mean, you couldn't draw it any better. Obviously, the return is not what you wanted, but coming out, and if you can get a turnover here on their first offensive possession for the Blue Devils, that'd be huge.
And they're back in the I formation. We saw them score from midfield in this formation with Latavian Thomas at tailback. He takes another handoff here. 4th and short. He's going to pick up first down yardage and more as he continues to churn his legs over on the far side hash marks.
He's going to end up getting about 5 yards, so they held him for no gain those first 2 rushes that he had, but that's a young man you can't keep contained long because he's eventually going to get one and he's going to get some yards behind him.
Another look at the replay. Bounced off the initial defender there and ran right into a pile. And there you see the second effort continues to churn his legs. Again, a new set of downs for West Memphis. 1st and 10 coming up. From the Wynne 43-yard line. There's another handoff to Thomas. He spins in the backfield, makes his way across the line of scrimmage. And it looks like he'll be brought down after picking up about a yard, maybe a yard and a half. So 2nd down coming up.
Fancy footwork right there. As soon as he had the ball in his pocket, he did a nice little spin move to evade the first tackler, or the defensive end actually, that ended up in the backfield and was fortunate to get back. Looks like they're going to call it just a yard, so close to the line of scrimmage.
Jimmy Phillips lined up at wide receiver here on the near side. Thomas is still in the backfield. He'll take another handoff, running to his left. Now he'll cut up the middle of the field between the hash marks. He'll be stopped just shy of the 40. It looks like they'll spot him between the 40 and 41. That'll bring up 3rd down and about 7 to go for the Blue Devils.
Healthy dose of Thomas here in the second half. He's already got 5 carries. And as long as the Blue Devils have this lead, clock management and keeping the ball on the ground is something they're probably going to stick to.
That's what I was just about to say. The Blue Devils have held the ball for nearly 4 minutes to start the third quarter. Got to convert this third down as McConnell's looking to throw. Nearly picked off as the linebacker was able to jump the passing route. It goes off of his fingertips and nearly into the hands of his teammate.
Great team effort here by Wynne. That linebacker dropping back was Gatlin, and he almost came up with it, but it just barely off his fingertips. And then I didn't catch the number of the corner there that was there to almost make the interception.
That was Devin Holmes, who was almost there to corral in the tip. But that will bring 4th and 8 to the table for the Blue Devils. And they're going to, once again, keep their offense out on the field. 4 wide receivers set. Oh, and I think the hard count might have gotten the Yellow Jackets off sides, but a lot of finger pointing going on out there. It looks like it's going to go in favor of the Yellow Jackets against West Memphis.
Trying to see who that was. I believe that was McCoy that could have possibly been the one. Yeah, I think, 71 McCoy this on the left side was just a little bit too anxious to get the play started.
So now that'll back him up 4th and 13 on the way now for McConnell. Again, a 4 wide receiver set. Thomas was in the backfield. He's going to jump up to tight end now. And
going to have an illegal formation.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Not enough men on the line, or too many men on the line, as McConnell just punted that one away.
A false start.
Yep, false start. So the second penalty on the Blue Devils here in the third quarter after they had put together quite a few successful plays in a row.
They're going to bring the actual punt unit out this time instead of having that rugby style. Something I want to mention, though, since Wynne has officially got the stop, and it looks like they're going to be able to take over possession pending that this punt goes well. West Memphis, their first 2 games of the year at Little Rock Central, 35-0, had the shutout. They had bye week, we're going to call it week 1. Then they were at Blytheville last week, 35-15. Their defense, these first 2 games of the year, have been very solid for them.
And that game against Blytheville last week was a turbo clock game, so those points scored by the Chickasaws were in what you would refer to as garbage time, as the Blue Devils punt this one away. It'll take a West Memphis bounce out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. Great punt by the Blue Devils as it bounced at the 20, took a 5-yard bounce in their direction. So the Yellow Jackets will come back out, trapped pretty deep inside their own territory, back at their own 15, and they'll have it for the first time in the second half. We'll see if Parker can get them going.
Yeah, if you're Coach Pascal, you're extremely excited right now. I mean, if you're in the locker room at halftime and you're talking to your guys and you want to write a script for how this second half needs to go, the first thing that happens is you have to come out and stop them and get the ball back in the offense's hand. 4 minutes is off the clock, but offense is on the field, deficit still only at 14.
2 wide receivers with a back in the backfield. And it's a handoff right up the gut. I think that was Nelson on the carry. And judging from the spot of the referee, that was a hard-fought half yard. And Nelson lost his helmet, so he'll have to come out.
Just like we talked about during halftime, keeping the ball on the ground and sticking to what they know. I'll be curious to see if they continue with that game plan here, as time is not in their favor.
Big number 30 back into the game, our unlisted player. 4 minutes officially gone by now here in the third quarter. Under 8 to play. 2nd and 9 coming up for the Yellow Jackets. Parker steps up to the line. Pitch out to the right. Far side hash marks. Ball comes out there at the end, and now number 30's lost his helmet as he brings it out to the 20-yard line. Couple yards on that second down run will bring up 3rd and 6.
A lot of hard running here these first 2 plays, but no yards to show for it. 3rd and 6 is not ideal for this style offense, and they're going to have to cook something up here to keep their offense out on the field. And I'm sure if you look at the 2 sidelines, we're looking at the depth chart, I'd say the Blue Devils easily double the amount of players that they could go to if they chose, but fatigue, tiredness, just just the mental lapse that goes through the game could definitely play a factor in this one.
I noticed that at the beginning of the game, just how many more players the Blue Devils had than Wynne. 3rd and 6 coming up. Man goes in motion. Fakes the handoff one way, pitch out to the other. Swallowed up at the 15-yard line. That's Jaden Potter, who's brought down in the backfield. And on the tackle for the Blue Devils, I believe, is Kendarius Moore. Let's take a look, see if we see number 10 breaking through the line. And in the backfield, there he is on the far side, hash marks. So Moore picking up a stop, bringing up 4th down for Wynne. 4th and 10 coming up.
Good defensive assignment there by the Blue Devils, sticking to their reads and being able to snuff that one out.
So Yellow Jackets looking to punt this one away. 2 men to return this one for West Memphis, standing just to the left of the 50-yard line. It's a low end-over-end kick. It'll bounce at the 40. It'll be fielded at the 50. Shoestring tackle tripped up at about the 46-yard line. Great punt coverage, as that was Devin Holloway trying to return that for the Blue Devils. Take another look at the replay. Just a great tackle. There's Holloway fielding it. See who it is for the Yellow Jackets.
I think that's Alston that came in there and got the shoestring tackle.
Was Kavion Alston coming in there. And West Memphis will start in Wynne territory with 6:17 to play here in the 3rd quarter.
If you're Wynne right now, you got to have a really short memory. So you came out and you got that stop, and essentially with the penalty that it looks like it's going to be a block in the back, going to back on back 15 yards. So essentially you're at the same point that you started 6 minutes ago. Defense has to get a stop, get the ball back in your offense's hand, because 14 is a deficit that can be easily overcome. You get that thing up to 21 and you get this Blue Devil offense, they start churning a little bit, it could get ugly in a hurry.
Yeah, that penalty will back them up to their own 42. Now let's see what they can do on 1st and 10 with the 3 wide receiver set. Screen pass out here to Phillips. He's got a blocker at the 45. Down the near sideline, drug out of bounds by his pads as he crossed the 50. And how about that flag comes flying out of the secondary way back in the backfield.
Curious to see what this is going to be on. It's going to be a gain of about 9 yards if it stays, but it looks like it's going to get Wynne.
He threw that flag about 15, 20 yards.
They're going to call that a 5-yard face mask penalty. So nothing malicious there, just got his hand caught in the face mask. But as you see the pitch and catch here going out, coming to our near side. We've called Phillips' name plenty of time tonight.
Yeah, there it was right there on the end. So yeah, 1st and 10 now from the 44-yard line. Out of bounds by low snap, another screen pass. That one will go off the turf, incomplete. The intended receiver was Jatavius Tucker. Now 2nd and 10 coming up.
Really curious right now that West Memphis came out their first drive, kept the ball on the ground, and had a lot of success with it. Obviously, they had success that first screenplay of this drive, but right there, that stops the clock, and that only helps Wynne in this scenario.
Yeah, stops the clock with 6 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Still plenty of time for the Yellow Jackets to get back in this one. 4 wide receiver set from McConnell. He'll hand it off to Love. Love can't shake the initial defender, and he got brought down awkwardly. I hope he is okay. His knee was kind of twisted up there.
Hand off for number 19, Love.
Oof.
That didn't look good. Cameron Holmes was in there on the tackle and just kind of wrapped his body around him when he was coming down.
Yeah, he just gets up and shakes it off like nothing happened. Sometimes you see these football players fall at such awkward angles, and it just makes you cringe a little bit.
Andy, we're a whole lot older than these 18-year-old kids out here.
No doubt about it. Screen pass out to the far side for Tucker. He hurdles a defender across the 30, got the first down and then some. Jatavius Tucker out there on the far sideline, able to take the screen for another Blue Devil first down.
Yeah, you know, that last play, they set the screen up on the far side. It bounced right in front of him. As soon as he caught this one, he had a head of steam, and he was trying to get upfield. Nice. We're going to call that a hurdle to get over him and evade one tackle, and then the Yellow Jacks just swarmed him to bring him down.
Yeah, just kind of hopped over that shoestring tackle. Wasn't so much a hurdle as it was just kind of a hop, skip, and a jump. So a 1st and 10 further into Wynne territory now that Got the ball spotted at about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line for a 1st and 10. 3 wide receivers lined up here on the near side. Could see another potential screen as they're bunched up close together on the near side hash marks. They'll send a man in motion. Kelvin Love. There's the screen. Picked off. The Yellow Jackets jumped it perfectly, and that's Devin Light out there coming up with the pick.
Great instinctual awareness to know in that back. We've seen this. He darts to the near side of the field. Not a chance it's a run play. They try to set up the screen. Light just undercuts the route completely. Fortunately for West Memphis, there on the tackle, I believe that was Jimmy Phillips that was able to round him down. But if he wasn't there and anticipating that defender coming in, that would have been a pick 6 all day.
Well, I said it before the play was snapped. Well, watch out for a screen down here on the near sideline, and apparently Devin Light read the play as well. 1st and 10 now for the Yellow Jackets. Everybody bunched up near the football. Parker's going to keep it himself. Gets past one defender in the backfield across the 45. He'll tuck it and run down to the 50-yard line, about a 13-yard pickup for James Holden Parker, and he will move the chains for a Yellow Jacket 1st and 10.
Straight keeper all the way, and he's able to elude the first defender that gets to him. That's Allen Henry that missed the tackle and then picks up a good chunk of yardage. They're now into Blue Devil territory, and you got to think that interception they just got may have been the spark they needed to get their offense going.
And they hustle up to the football now, ready to go 1st and 10 from the Blue Devil 49-yard line. Once again, everybody bunched in closely. There's the handoff to Nelson. Nelson with a second effort is all the way down to the 40-yard line. Great 9-yard pickup. He picked up about 8 of those after the first contact. Just bursts through the line and keeps his legs moving. Saw that earlier here tonight.
It seems like something when we see these run-oriented offenses, that in the second half, whenever you sort of see the same plays over and over in repetition, Wynne comes out and with just a little bit of lacks of focus and not reading your assignments, they're able to pick up large chunks of yards.
There's another handoff to Nelson. No, Parker's going to keep it himself, cutting back to the middle of the field. He's across the 30 down to the 25-yard line. I think he fooled everybody there. I think everyone thought Nelson had the football on this option read. Take another look.
Fooled absolutely everybody, and then look at this fake. He fakes the pitch to the outside, and he's able to cut it up, and at that point there's only 3 white hats in front of him, and he's able to pick up a solid 15 yards and win second possession of the second half. They're knocking on the door.
And James Holden Parker's got this offense moving. From the 25, 1st and 10 Yellow Jackets. One man goes in motion. There's the pitch out. Trying to find the corner across the 25 and knocked out of bounds is Alston. And that was a long way to go to pick up a yard, but it'll be 2nd and 9 when they line back up.
You got to have those plays, though, in this style offense. You have to have those plays that stretch the field. If you're not going to stretch it north and south, you have to go east and west. That seems very counterintuitive that you think you got to get upfield. But to keep this defense honest and not absolutely just crash between the tackles, you have to stretch the field like that. So I'm fine with that play call. Not a loss of yards, but they really need to do some work right here on 2nd and 9.
Looking like they're going to run the football once again. Everybody bunched up here to the line. 2nd and 9 on the way. Nelson is in the backfield. There's Armstrong, goes in motion. It's a pitch out to Armstrong. One-handed catch, tries to make a spin move, but he's slung down by Kendarius Moore.
Fortunately for Parker there, he wasn't caught behind because I didn't catch the number of the Blue Devil that was coming in pursuit. I'm sure we'll see him right here on the Ritter Communication replay. That looks like that was number 9, Mark Robinson, that was chasing down Parker, and fortunately he's able to get that ball off because we've seen 2 fumbles tonight from Parker, and ball security is something you have to worry about.
Obviously a loss on that run, so 3rd and about 13 on the way. Blue Devils with 4 down linemen. They're going to bring pressure. Parker trying to throw, steps back up in the pocket, evades the pressure. He's going to sprint to the sideline, just lower his shoulder and fall forward. Had nowhere to go with that one.
Still going to be a loss of a yard. Fortunately for that, he was able to evade the pressure in the backfield, but that's not going to be enough, unfortunately. And we've seen this from Wynne tonight. You think they've got a little bit of momentum and that they're going to be able to get into the end zone, and for whatever reason, that stretch between the 35 and the 20 has just been really troublesome distance for them so far tonight.
Yeah, had it down here earlier back in the first quarter. Excuse me, in the second quarter, rather.
Very beginning of the second quarter, right?
You know, it's really funny because I just now noticed that they fumbled the ball on the first play of the game. They also threw an interception on the first play of the second quarter. So trying to avoid another turnover here on 4th and long. It's a screen pass thrown off the backs of his offensive line. I don't know that the running back, Nelson, ever turned to find the football, but that will give it back to the Blue Devils, 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
I like the play call right there, trying to set up the screen. You can see that it was starting to develop as the lineman had started to peel away, but something that I can tell that, let's see here, Allen Henry for the Blue Devils was very aware of what was going on and actually wrapped up the back before he was able to turn around for the route.
Here come the Blue Devils back out on offense. 1st and 10 from their own 29. They've got $1:52 left to play here in the third quarter. Started out with a 4-minute drive, nearly 4 minutes here in the third quarter. See if they can get a better one than their last time out when they threw a pick. Here's a handoff to Thompson. Thompson stuck at the 30-yard line. Long way to go to only pick up a yard.
Number 39.
Great hit there. I think Wesley Gatlin, the one in there to bring him down. Watch number 1 come streaking in here.
Thomas has been running a lot here in the second half. He's got 6 attempts already, but unfortunately he's only got 10 yards to his credit because the Yellow Jackets have been able to snuff all of it out.
4 wide receivers set for McConnell. Tries the hard count. Doesn't get what he wants, so now he'll look to the sideline. It's a screen. Out to Phillips. Phillips catches it inside the 30, takes it across, down to the 33-yard line. He'll pick up about 2, maybe 3 on that second down screen pass. 3rd and 6 coming up with about a minute left to play in the third.
Blue Devils are really fortunate right there that Andrew Moore wasn't playing a little bit further outside of the hash because he saw that screen play coming and he tried to undercut it right there. Fortunately for Blue Devils, though, it was just a little bit over his head.
2 wide receivers, one on either side for McConnell with 44 seconds left. Now he'll check to the sideline to see if they're going to run this play, and they are. Wynne's going to bring about 5 rushers. Ball caught at the 40-yard line, right near where the line to gain is. It's spotted at the 39, which is where the first down marker is. Should be a first down and 10 coming up here for the Blue Devils. Let's see if they want to measure it. Nope, no need. Nope. They go ahead and give them the signal. So
for a Blue Devil.
We'll stop the clock here with 32 seconds left.
Great awareness right there for Phillips of where the line of gain needed to be. He got there, planted his feet, caught the ball, and went straight to the ground.
And a great catch after a low throw from McConnell, but a great throw from McConnell. He threw it where only Phillips could get it. 1st and 10. They'll hand it off up the middle to Latavian Thomas. He'll pick up about 2 yards on that first down rush, bringing up 2nd and 8, and that could be the last play of the third quarter with 10 seconds remaining. See if they want to get one more off. They don't have to run a play. Oh, they get one off. Here we go, looking to throw far side, little hitch route. Caught by Tucker, and he'll pick up about 4 yards through the air as we end the third quarter. When we come back, it'll be 3rd and short for the West Memphis Blue Devils. They lead this one 14-0 over the Wynne Yellow Jackets. We're back with more action here on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
The Jonesboro Advertising and Promotion Commission welcomes you to the Downtown Jonesboro Barbecue and Music Festival. This year's festival kicks off Friday, September 28th with the 2nd annual SCA Steak Contest and live music from Fuel. Then Saturday, it's the 10th annual KCBS Sanctioned Barbecue Contest with $10,000 in cash prizes. Then Saturday night, Smash Mouth rocks the Ritter Communications stage. Hey now, it's the Downtown Jonesboro Barbecue and Music Festival, September 28th and 29th, presented by the Jonesboro A&P Commission.
Andy Manus and Ryan Short back here with you at Hamilton Shoals Field. in West Memphis, where the Blue Devils have a 14-0 lead over the Wynne Yellow Jackets. We are in the fourth quarter. The West Memphis Blue Devils will have it 3rd and 4 here to start the fourth.
Very, very quick third quarter. We were just commenting about that during the break, that West Memphis came out, and in the third quarter they ran 17 plays, but most of those coming on the ground. And then for Wynne, they racked up about 10 plays of their own. So clock is definitely going to be an issue as we're winding down here if Wynne is going to try to mount any type of comeback.
Yeah, this could be a big play for the Yellow Jacket defense if they can force a fourth down here. Back under center, it's a handoff to Thomas. Thomas makes a cut. He's across the 50, across the 45, and down to the 40. And once again, it's Latavian Thomas picking up a first down for the Blue Devils on the ground, making it look easy.
Yeah, they're going to mark that. Looks like a good 14-yard gain for them, and we've been saying that he's been having those shifty legs, and he's had a lot of trouble in the third quarter getting any yards, only racking up about 11 in the third quarter, but that right there doubles his total.
They're going back to the I formation, and it's another handoff. Jukes a man in the backfield, brushes off one more as he picks up about 5 yards on first down. 2nd and 5 coming up. Yeah, what a cut he made on that first down run a moment ago.
Something I wanted to mention before the half is Thomas. We saw the last play of the quarter was that out route to the far side, but the play before that he was snuffed right at the line of scrimmage for a gain of 1. But as soon as he got up, he was clapping his hands and he was excited because he knew that his Blue Devil offense was in charge of this game.
Kelvin Love is in the backfield now next to McConnell. He's going to go out as a blocker. McConnell looking to throw. Pump fake, shot towards the end zone, jump ball, incomplete, but the flags are going to come flying out as the defender was draped all over Jatavius Tucker on that play. Trying to see what number that is out there. And that looks like that's Darius Jones, the offending Yellow Jacket.
Yeah, the Blue Devils just ran a simple a stop and go here on the near side. Didn't seem to fool anyone because, like you said, Jones was actually the safety on that far side, and he was back in coverage as well. And good ball thrown, jump ball, just your receiver and hit. But like you said, Jones can't get there that early, and that's going to be 15 yards for the Blue Devils.
Second flag called on the Yellow Jackets here in the second half. They've had 4 penalties called on them total for the ball game. Meanwhile, the Blue Devils have got 9 to their credit. But Blue Devils are on top here with a minute gone by in the fourth quarter, 14-0. They look like they're going to come back out in that I formation. They've seen some success with Latavian Thomas in there at tailback in this formation, but right now it's Kelvin Love in the backfield. He's going to take a handoff. Yellow Jackets bringing pressure right up the middle. They're going to pick Love up and slam him backwards. A loss on first down will bring up second, and it looks like about a yard. But, hey, a flag thrown down back there at about the 25-yard line on the far side hash marks. See if this is going to be in the area of holding or not. Referee looks like they're getting ready to maybe mark it backwards, so it could be against West Memphis here. Looking to the Yellow Jackets to see, I think, if they want to accept it or not, and that's exactly what they're going to do. So here's the call. Holding on the Blue Devils. So talking about penalties, there's number 10 here in the ball game for West Memphis.
Yeah, I think that's something we're going to see here in the later stages is the Yellow Jackets know defensively that Blue Devils are going to be keeping the ball on the ground for the most part. So they're going to be sending the house, loading up the box, and trying to get as much pressure in the backfield as possible. And what that causes is the Blue Devil line going to have to be bear clawing some people trying to keep them off their backs.
Screen pass out to the far side for Phillips. Phillips will lower his shoulder, keeps his feet. Oh, they're going to say he's down just on the other side of the 30. He thought he was able to keep his knees up there, so he just kept running with it.
Yeah, he's not happy about that, but I believe he was down as well. Far side, he had 2 Navy hats on him, as you see right here on the Ritter Communication replay. Look right there, right at the 30-yard line when he's coming down.
Oh, there it is, right at the 30. Good spot by the referee.
But just for good graces, it looks like Parker was in there to get the tackle just to make sure he was down.
Looks like about 2nd and 20 now coming up. There's a handoff for Love. Love trying to battle up to the 25-yard line, but is pushed backward with some force. He's able to pick up about 4 yards on that second down rush. So now 3rd and about 15 coming up here for the Blue Devils. Let's see what kind of personnel they want to put on the field. Looks like Kelvin Love still out there. They're going to have Jimmy Phillips line up at wide receiver over there on the far side. See him standing out there at about the 30. And then here on the near side, they've got Jatavius Tucker lined up along with 2 other wide receivers. So 4 wide receiver look here on 3rd and long. McConnell looking to throw. Takes a shot over the middle. Oh, into double coverage, nearly picked off. Intended receiver was Jatavius Tucker. He was running a little bit of a flag route there. Straight up the field and towards the middle, and he is rolling around on the turf right now. Take another look
right here, Gatlin was the one, I believe he was going for the interception, and he's gotten back up now. I think he had a shoe fly off, but the intended receiver right there is that going to be Tucker? Yeah, Tucker.
And he'll get up, and he's making his way to the sideline now.
That's good to see.
Might have just had a little stinger. Kind of got sandwiched in there between those 2 defenders trying to catch that football. So 4th and 15 now coming up from the Wynne 26-yard line. 9:32 to play in this one.
Notice on the far side of the field, Whitaker's on that far side back. We haven't seen, or the wide receiver, we haven't seen him much tonight.
He's that South Alabama commit. They're going to throw to him over the middle, incomplete. The intended receiver was Whitaker, but it falls to his feet right at the 10-yard line, and it's a turnover on downs. That was the 7th play by the Blue Devils on that drive that stretched over 2 quarters, taking some game time off the clock, some very valuable game time if you're a Wynne Yellow Jacket fan.
Yeah, whenever Whitaker goes out there on the field, he's a big body. You can see why he is a South Al commit, because he definitely takes a presence out there. So as soon as I saw him running out on the field, you can only imagine it's either a jump ball or something to get the ball in his vicinity to see if he can pull it down.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the tallest players out there, no doubt. Got a head taller than everyone else. So now the Yellow Jackets come back out to try to find pay dirt for the first time tonight and make it a ball game. 9:29 left to play in the 4th quarter. Parker will hand it off up the middle to Nelson. Nelson will keep his legs churning, picking up about 3 yards on that first down rush. 2nd and 7. Now coming up for the Yellow Jackets. Ball spotted on the far side hash marks.
If you're a Yellow Jacket right now, you have to pick up the intensity just a little bit. I understand the way their offense is set, you have to get into the huddle, but hopefully you know with the intensity, whenever you break that huddle, get to the ball and get set, because they need to get their offense moving.
Yeah, about 15 seconds left on the play clock. We got a wide receiver lined up way down here at the bottom of your screen. Can't see him anywhere. There's a pitch out. Cutting up to the middle of the field. Being brought down about the 35-yard line is Whit Basham. Oh, we've got a Yellow Jacket who is down here at about the 30-yard line, and we got a Blue Devil who's down alongside it. 8:38 left to play here in the 4th quarter. Take another look on the replay here. There's the pitch out, and actually that was Jaden Porter. And that's Kavion Alston, the one who is down. So while they tend to him, we're going to go ahead and step aside for a quick break with 8:38. Oh, never mind. Actually, let's keep it right here. They're going to go ahead and help him right off the field.
Yeah, I think he was the slot back on the near side, and whenever they came to this side, when the ball was on this side, he just got wrapped up with the defender that we saw down for the Blue Devils, and they just got their legs tied up a little bit. So hopefully he's nothing more than a stinger on his ankle or something like that, and hopefully we see him back in the game a little bit later, because he has contributed a lot tonight for this offense.
Yeah, it's had quite a few carries, especially running around from either the left or the right edge. But a 3rd and short opportunity now coming up for the Yellow Jackets to extend this drive. 3rd and 2 from their own 35. James Holden Parker getting the play. Now he delivers it. 14 seconds left on the play clock. West Memphis showing blitz. Here it comes. Nelson right up through the line. No, Parker keeps it himself. He's across the 40-yard line. picks up the first down and will stop the clock with 8:17 left to play. He just runs that read option so well. It's hard to tell who has the football.
It scares me too every time he does this fake option. That ball is extended 2 or 3 foot away from his body, but it's enough to keep the defenders off their feet just enough, and they're not which way to commit. And he's able to pick up the first down, keep this Yellow Jacket offense on the field.
Clock continues to roll now. Under 8:10 left to play in the ball game. Wynne with one wide receiver here on the near side. They send a man in motion. This time they do hand it off up the middle. It's Nelson, and he is met immediately, stopped in his tracks by Mark Robinson.
They're going to give him forward progress back to the line of scrimmage, but it's still going to be 2nd and 10 for the Yellow Jackets.
And the clock will continue to move. Under 8 minutes now left to play in the ball game. Yellow Jackets, you said it a minute ago, they need to start showing a little bit of pep in their step, need to start showing a little bit of intensity here late in the ball game, trailing by 2 touchdowns. Now they hustle up to the line with 15 seconds left on the play clock. Again, wide receiver Whit Basham out down here at the bottom of your screen. Nelson is in the backfield, Parker under center. 2 men go in motion at the same time, and flags come flying out. Can't do that.
I guess I didn't hear a whistle. Did you hear a whistle at all?
Yeah, that's illegal motion there by the Wynne Yellow Jackets. You see they both ran into each other, so they got confused on which one was supposed to take off running.
Mm-hmm. You ever gone somewhere and just miscommunication? You're like, hey, I didn't know you were going to be here. What are you doing here? Funny running into you here.
Oh, you're running the errand. I thought I was running the errand.
Oh, I guess we both can get
we're
dog
both
food.
running the errand here. Well, back it up. We'll replay the down here. They're going to bring an extra skill position in. One of the linemen came running off the field, so now here we go on 2nd and long. Whit Basham will be lined up here at the bottom. 2 wide receivers on the far side for Parker. The junior quarterback under center with 1 back in the backfield. 6:58 and counting left to play on 2nd and long. Parker rolling out, facing pressure. Can he get a throw off? No. Sacked from behind. And that will bring up 3rd and long for the Wynne Yellow Jackets. And it's Allen Henry. How many times have we called his name tonight?
I like the play call here, doing the rollout to the far side. Obviously, that's the side of the field that he had the most yardage to run to. Also, to his throwing hand, so he's not having to throw across the shoulder, but just nothing developing. When you have a pass play that you have your hot read and then your progression is only 2 receivers and those aren't available, you really have to improvise quickly. And when you're being chased down by a host of Blue Devils, it's kind of hard to make that happen.
Yeah, probably should have thrown it out of bounds, gotten rid of it. Here we go on 3rd and short. Parker's going to keep it himself, dropped at the 30-yard line. Again, the Blue Devils disrupt the play. Getting in the backfield that time was Curtis Hill, the senior middle linebacker for the Blue Devils.
Hill brings down the quarterback.
Appears that Wynne's going to bring out the punt team. I mean, I can't imagine that you have a fake punt play that you're comfortable running 21 yards away from your line of game.
4:21 left to play in this one, but with that said, you give the ball back to the Blue Devils, who have been able to milk a lot of clock here tonight. They do punt it. Spiraling kick will bounce at the 35. It'll take a Yellow Jacket roll down inside the 10-yard line. It'll keep rolling inside the 5. What a punt by the Yellow Jackets, and they're trying to wave it down to the 1. I think they'll down it at the 2. What a kick.
A 79-yard punt is what it's going to go down as, but I noticed right before we kicked it, the wind picked up a little bit. We've got a little breeze here on top of the press box, and you can see with the natural wind that Mother Nature gives us and a little bit of encouragement from the punt team, they're going to have them down inside the 1-yard line.
That is incredible. What a kick, what a bounce. Obviously, the clock is not your friend, but you definitely want to go give some love to your punter after he puts your defense on the 1-yard line.
Something we need to mention, though, is the Blue Devils have already been in this situation once tonight, and it's something that they were able to work their way out of.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They had the ball pretty deep in their own territory. Started started on their own 2. That drive eventually ended with a turnover on downs, but they rattled off 11 plays before that happened. And here's Thomas from the 1-yard line. He's at the far side 20, the 30. Got a convoy ahead of him. Knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line. And that's a 45-yard rush, and that's Kelvin Love actually on the carry.
Like we saw earlier, he bounces off of one tackle that hit him in the backfield, and then you see just an absolute wall that the Blue Devils created for him. And at that point, it was either he was going to run out of bounds or run out of steam one, and I think he sort of did both at the same time.
Saw that little juke move back at the 10-yard line. That was a nifty little move. Oh, but how about this? We get a flag back down at the 24. So
now if this is a holding,
it'll be from the spot of the foul, but that still will erase that big run. But hey, guess what? They're moving it forward. It's going to go against the Yellow Jackets. It's a face mask. That is their 4th penalty here in the second half. Now 6 for the ball game. They're catching up
That's enough for
to
another
the Blue Devils in penalties. 5 minutes left to play here in the ball game, and they gift the West Memphis Blue Devils, after a 45-yard rush, an extra 15.
That's just heartbreaking for the Yellow Jackets, because there's been multiple times here in the second half that you can physically feel the glimmer of hope that is there for the Yellow Jackets, and as soon as we feel it, it seems like it's stomped out by the Blue Devil offense.
Here's McConnell with the snap. There's the handoff to Thomas. Thomas trying to spin for some extra yards. He'll pick up 2. 2nd and 8 coming up.
That's his 10th carry of the second half.
Clock will continue to tick inside 4:45 now. Blue Devils just trying to milk it away here.
Both teams still have all of their timeouts as well.
Again, West Memphis leading 14-0. They scored both of their touchdowns in the first half, 1 in each quarter. Now they're back in the I formation, 2nd and 8. Thomas bouncing it to the outside across the 45, the 30, still on his feet. And he'll be run out of bounds at the 20, but a flag back down at about the 36-yard line. So this one more than likely going to be coming back, as Thomas reeled off yet another big run. But if he got a little help from a hold, that would explain some things.
Yeah, and it appears at the end of that run, I think the hold's going to come right here on number 16.
Nope.
No, it was further back.
71, it looks like the offender there, Emmanuel McCoy.
Something else to mention at the end of that play, Alston for the Yellow Jackets favoring that leg again, and he went back off the field.
Yeah, so they'll back it up 10 yards from the spot of the foul, and we'll replay 2nd down here with 4:14 left to play in the 4th quarter.
That's their 5th penalty here. As we've been trying to keep up with that tonight, 45 yards of total penalties for the Blue Devils.
So now 2nd and 17 coming up with 4:14 left to play here in the ball game. It's another handoff to Thomas. Thomas bouncing it out to the outside across the 40. Cuts, upended as he hit the 38. What a stop there from the Yellow Jackets.
He pops right back up on his feet though after that that very theatrical tackle.
He just gets upended here by the defender. What a hit there by Darius Jones. That one's going on the highlight reel, no doubt. Thomas able to pick up about 8 yards on that carry, though, so now 3rd and 8 coming up. Kelvin Love is in the backfield after that play. He'll stand to the left of McConnell. 2 wide receivers set. There's the handoff to Love. Love right up the gut. And the Yellow Jacket defense will converge on him, but not before he's able to pick up about 4 yards. So now 4th and 4 coming up with 3:15 and counting left to play in the ball game. Wonder if the Yellow Jackets will use a timeout here, but doesn't look like they're gonna. They're gonna try to just pick up a stop here, put the ball back into the hands of their offense late in the ball game.
You have to imagine if the most success they've had offensively has been on the ground. So holding on to those timeouts to when your team gets the ball back is definitely their plan here.
And West Memphis will likely just milk this one down as far as they can and probably call a timeout themselves. 10 seconds left on the play clock. Nope, they are going to try to get a play off here. 5 seconds left. Nope, they are going to call a timeout. Just trying to see if they could catch the Yellow Jackets off guard there, but they were ready for it. So we will take a timeout with them. 2:35 left to play in the fourth quarter. It's the West Memphis Blue Devils with a 14-point lead over the Wynne Yellow Jackets. We're back with more fourth quarter action right after this. We're watching prep football on Tubetown, live, local from Ritter Communications.
Life doesn't always go as planned. So when a power surge affects your TV, or a breakfast mishap takes out your laptop, Guardware multi-device protection gives you peace of mind, knowing your devices will be repaired or replaced with just one call, and without breaking the bank. Protection you can trust. Guardware from Ritter. Enroll today to keep what matters most protected tomorrow.
Andy Maness and Ryan Short back here with you in West Memphis, where the Blue Devils are hanging on to a 14-0 lead over the Wynne Yellow Jackets with 2:35 to play in the ball game. West Memphis calling a timeout on 4th and 4, their first of the second half, so they have 2 remaining. The Yellow Jackets still have all 3 of theirs, and again, they trail by 2 touchdowns, just trying to come up with a big stop here on defense to give themselves a chance. Trying to leave that door cracked open for a comeback. 4th and 4 coming up. It's a 2 wide receiver look here for the Blue Devils. One back in the backfield. It's Kelvin Love. He's going to take the handoff right up the gut. He is down near the first down marker. He had to get to the 30, and it looks like they're going to stop him about a yard shy. So it'll be a turnover on downs for the Blue Devils. And here comes the Yellow Jacket offense with 2:30 left to play here in the game. Let's see if they can put together a miraculous comeback.
We've been praying for it this whole second half. As we mentioned before, West Memphis, week 1, shut out their opponent. Last week they gave up 13. That was under turbo clock though, so we'll put an asterisk beside that one, under special conditions, and so far they're pitching a shutout tonight as well.
Yeah, so that defense only giving up 7 points a game through the first 2 this year, so holding up to that average so far here tonight. 4 wide receivers for the Yellow Jackets looking to throw. New quarterback into the game. Firing one out to the far sideline is Cooper Pieri, sophomore quarterback for the Yellow Jackets. So Cooper Pieri into the game.
Come in fresh arm, and you can tell that he's been over there waiting for his opportunity, because he definitely lit a match to that one and threw it as far as he could, just out threw his receiver quite a bit.
He let it fly for sure. So 2nd and 10 now coming up. Yellow Jackets got the ball at their own 31-yard line. Another 4 wide receiver set for Wynne with one back in the backfield. Pieri awaits the snaps. Blue Devils only bringing 4, but they get through the line. Tossed up, nearly picked off at midfield. Now Pieri looked like he had a wide receiver on the far sideline that opted to go to the inside receiver instead.
3rd down.
Yeah, you can look right here on the replay. He was backpedaling and sort of threw that off his back foot a little bit and didn't really have his legs about him. And that far receiver you're talking about over there ran a stop, and he had one running a seam route and one running a go. So either one of them could have rolled it in, and I think that was kind of his mentality, is just toss it up and see if one of them can make a play.
So now 3rd and 10 coming up. Same formation, 4 wide receiver look. Looking to throw once again. This time they do get it out to the far side receiver, and it is off his hands, incomplete. So 4th down coming up.
We've seen 3 passes from him, and the ball looks very good coming out of his hand. It has a lot of zip behind it. And you got to think the run attack for Wynne has been what their bread and butter has been for so long. So that change of look and scenery could be something they could definitely use later in the season as they're trying to make their way through the 5A East.
Last chance here for the Yellow Jackets, but it's 4th and 10. Can't really tell if they brought their punt team out or not. You kind of got to think they got to go for it here. Still have all 3 timeouts. They're going to punt it away. Caught at the 30. Taken to the near sideline across the 35. Lowers his shoulder and takes a hit right at the 40. Hefty little return by Devin Alloway. So Yellow Jackets punted away, and with that they could have just punted away the ball game.
Yeah, not much going here in the second half. You felt they had some opportunities, but just not able to capitalize on those. And, you know, West Memphis, they still have to go out here and offensively execute to run this clock out, but their eyes now are going to be focused next week as they go to Marion for a classic matchup that we've seen between them.
Yeah, meanwhile, the Yellow Jackets will have to hit the road as well. They'll be headed to Blytheville to face the Chickasaws. All right, 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. They're going to come out all bunched up. Looks like they may some sort of or somewhat a victory formation here. They're just going to take a knee.
McConnell in the victory formation takes a knee.
Not often you see the victory formation this far out.
No, but you can tell Coach Elmore he really was not anticipating Coach Pascal to call a timeout right there. You sort of thought when they punted the ball away that they were conceding, and we didn't verbalize it, but we looked at each other and threw our hands up like, why are they not having at least a last-ditch effort here to go for it? And I think Coach Elmore sort of interpreted it as the same, so come out and do the sportsmanlike thing and just take a knee and run out the clock, but that's not the itinerary that Coach Pascal had in mind.
Definitely a bit odd. Timeout was called, stopping the clock with 2:01 to play in the 4th quarter.
And that definitely changes up now what you do as a Blue Devil offense. If you know they're going to burn their timeouts, you might as well come out and run a couple plays and get a first down to seal it up.
That's what they're going to do now in the shotgun formation with 4 wide receivers. There's a snap, hand off to Love. No, play action, looking to throw, taking a shot, caught at the 35-yard line, down to the 30. And that's Jatavius Tucker on the reception, picking up a 1st and 10. Well, Coach Elmore said if you're going to call the timeouts, we're going to throw it. Moving the chains, stopping the clock with 1:52 to play here in the ball game. They'll reset and start the clock once they get the chains reset. And how about West Memphis already on top of the football, ready to go?
I'm not sure about you, but I have a very uneasy feeling right now. I feel like there are so many unwritten rules that are being broken.
They're looking to throw, taking a shot towards the end zone. Tucker goes up, incomplete. Great defense that time from Darius Jones, saving what would have been a touchdown. Tucker had his hands all over it.
You can see Coach Elmore here on the near side of the field. He's backed up, so the ball's spotted at the 28. He's about the 38-yard line with both hands on his hips, and he's looking across over at the Wynne sideline wondering what's going on, because that sort of has all of us a little bit perplexed.
Clock stops with 1:41 left to play in the ball game, 2nd and 10. And again, the Blue Devils will come out, possibly looking to throw with 4 wide receivers. There's a handoff right up the gut with Kelvin Love. Love still on his feet. It's hit hard, though, after he's initially tangled up. Picks up about 2 yards on that 2nd down rush, bringing up 3rd and 6. 1:34 left to play here in the ball game, and we are going to get a timeout from Wynne. They call their 2nd timeout of the 2nd half with 1 remaining. Go ahead and step aside with them. Again, 1:34 left to play, 14-0 your score. We're back with more here from West Memphis right after this.
How much bandwidth will satisfy your home's hunger? The average household now has more wireless devices in use a day than ever before, including TVs, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. HD streaming and gaming can use large amounts of data and slow down speeds for other users. The more devices you use, the more bandwidth your home needs. So make sure you have enough bandwidth. Get up to 100 megs with internet from Ritter Communications. It's the speed you need to power all your devices. Call today.
Andy Manus and Ryan Short back here with you in West Memphis, where the Blue Devils are once again threatening to score here at the end of the game. 1:34 left to play, 3rd and 7. McConnell looking to throw, taking another shot to the end zone. Oh, that one is in traffic, and it's incomplete. I thought that one could have been sandwiched in between one of the players in there. It looked like anybody could have come up with it, but it falls harmlessly to the turf.
Yeah, you see it right here on the Ritter Communication replay that he definitely threaded the needle, and it had the possibility of being reeled in, as you see in triple coverage. Actually hit the hands of the intended receiver.
Sure did. Man, he put that on the money for his receiver to have a shot at it, but just dropped it. Now 4th and 6 coming up. They're going to go for it. Taking one more shot at it. Off the hands of the intended receiver, Jatavius Tucker. Had a chance to catch it right at the 15-yard line that would have moved the chains for a 1st and 10, but instead it gives it back to the Yellow Jackets with 1:23 to play in the ball game and 1 timeout remaining.
And just when I thought I had tabulated all my stats and I was ready to get our rollout going, what do we have? We have a victory formation timeout, and then a few pass plays come right after that.
And we've got James Holden Parker lined up at wide receiver out here at the bottom of your screen. Pieri steps back looking to throw. Now he's rolling out, facing pressure, just going to throw it away in the vicinity of no one. I don't think that's going to be grounding as he was well outside. Oh, the referee just threw the flag down. I was going to say it was outside the tackle box. He threw it past the line of scrimmage, but I guess because there was nobody in the vicinity. So that will cost them a down and some penalty yardage. Seventh penalty now here called on the Wynne Yellow Jackets in tonight's ball game.
Intentional grounding on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the 5. Loss of down, 2nd down.
Well, the referee said 5 yards, but they're backing it up a little bit more than that.
This last minute and a half has just completely thrown me for a loop.
That's a little more akin to 25 yards.
Well, they typically rule that for the spot of the foul, and I'm guessing since he was flushed out of the pocket and I don't know. Yeah, 2nd and a bit, I think is what we call this one.
2nd and a bit indeed. 2nd and 28 if you want to get official with it. 4 wide receivers with a back in the backfield. Pieri looking to throw from his own end zone. It's a screen pass, tipped and intercepted, taken in for a touchdown. West Memphis is going to score a touchdown on defense right here at the end of the game.
The Blue Devils,
How unfortunate is that for the Yellow Jackets? Just trying to make something happen with 1:08 left to play, and instead you turn it over. 6 points for the Blue Devils. There's the initial tip right there.
Just
and then
falls
big
right into the hands.
66, Hassani Adams, the senior. Merry Christmas.
Got a flag on the far side of the field as well.
An early Christmas present he did.
We have a touchdown from West Memphis. We have an unsportsmanlike excessive celebration. That would be a 15-yard penalty assessed on the kickoff.
Well, yeah, it's going to be an excessive celebration. The young man just scored a touchdown.
Big man touchdown, man. You don't get one of those very often.
Seriously, you give him a turkey leg and you say, well done. You don't give him a 15-yard penalty.
They're going to send the extra point team out there. Well, this Blue Devil defense has shown up tonight. Extra point on the way through the uprights, and that will make it 21-0.
Blue Devils 21, Wynne 0.
21-0 with 1:08 left to play in this one. That's all but gonna do it here.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of. You hate to say you reap what you sow, but when Wynne comes out and as soon as West Memphis is going to do the good graces of just kneeling the ball out, and then all of a sudden you decide to use one of your timeouts, that gives them the green light to keep running offensive plays. Get them inside the 5-yard line to start running their offense after a host of penalties, and you end up the deficit's going to be 21 instead of 14, and you could sort of hang your hat on a 14-0 loss against a 6A team that's hoping to end up at War Memorial, and now you've sort of spoiled it away here in the last 2 minutes of the ball game. I'm not sure if you're pride about yourself or what exactly is going on, but I was under the impression when they punted the ball away when it was 4th and 10 with 2 minutes on the clock that they were basically conceding the game.
It's kind of what it felt like from up here. Again, you and I looked at each other and thought, what's going on? You know, only down by 2, you want to punt it at the end of the game. I just a little questionable. But again, that's why I don't do that for a living. I do this. My job is to speculate. West Memphis, after that excessive celebration penalty, has their kickoff backed up to about the 25-yard line, and now they're ready to try to boot it away. Colin Clark with the kick. Low squib kick, just downed right at the 40-yard line by the Yellow Jackets. Had to field that one like a ground ball. Cameron Holmes, the Yellow Jacket, to come up with it.
And this game, I mean, there's a minute left on the clock, but I feel like it's far from over if Wynne elects to bring back out their sophomore quarterback and have him put the ball in the air again, and it's 3 quick incompletions. We could see the West Memphis offense back on the field. That would not be something out of the realm of possibility.
Oh, Wynne does still have 1 timeout remaining. I just saw West Memphis has got a turnover belt down here. Big 66. Hassani Adams, the one coming up with the interception and the score moments ago, has got the championship belt down on the bench.
Timeout. West Memphis. That's their last time out of the half.
And West Memphis is going to burn their final timeout. Hey, there we go. Hassani Adams with the turnover belt.
I wonder if he gets to take that home with him.
I don't know, but it looks good, draped across his shoulder. He looks like a real champ.
He looks like he just won the national heavyweight title.
He does.
Correction. West Memphis still has 1 timeout remaining.
Oh, so we've got actually Wynne. Well, I don't know who took the timeout, but either way, we do have play stopped with 1:06 remaining. I think he credited it to the Blue Devils.
Blue Devils took it. I think they had some personnel that was not quite on the field yet.
That will be not their final timeout. They have 1 remaining. So that was just their second. Here of the second half. Both teams back out on the field now, ready to go. And it's not Cooper Pieri who stepped in a moment ago to play quarterback. Instead, it's, again, James Holden Parker, the junior. He's under center, takes the snap, hands it off to Henry. Henry running to his right with a full head of steam, just trying to make anything happen. He's running with some ferocity there, but he's only going to pick up about 2. So 2nd and 8 coming up. Now we're inside a minute left to play in the ball game.
Gain of 2 on the play, 2nd and 8.
I like to think that the Yellow Jackets are going to go no huddle here, and that's what they do. Three wide receivers, 1 back in the backfield. Parker on the option once again. He's across the 35-yard line and drops just shy of the first down marker.
Quarterback keeper.
It'll be about 3rd and 1 with 15 seconds remaining. Could be the final play of the game. They don't have to run another one. I'd like to think the Yellow Jackets wouldn't want to risk any injury here on the final play of the game with it out of reach. And they'll just end this one. So the West Memphis Blue Devils defense comes up big once again here in week number 3, pitching their second shutout of the year. They're going to come away with a victory on their home field, 21-0, a skunk out over the Wynne Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, good quality win. I know the last couple of minutes definitely perplexed us up here in the booth, and we've been talking to the guys in the trailer, and we're trying to figure out what logistically was going on. But no matter how you tack it up, Wynne next week, they're going to be on the road, and then same thing for West Memphis. They're going to be looking to regroup, and for West Memphis, they're going to be trying to continue their impressive streak on defense.
We'll tell you all about it coming back here in just a minute. We'll put a bow on this one and wrap it up. But again, the final score, 21-0, West Memphis over the Wynne Yellow Jackets. Taking a quick break, and we're back with your post-game show after this. You're watching Prep Football on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
you live. We put you first. Introducing You First Banking, only at First National Bank.
You've got a lot of choices when you buy home furnishings. There are many reasons to choose Hubbard & Hoke Furniture, Blytheville and Osceola.
At Hubbard & Hoke, you'll find a great selection of furniture, appliances, bedding, and electronics with outstanding service, 6 ways to finance your purchase, and free local delivery.
Plus, you'll get a great deal every day on name brands you know and trust.
Great deals, outstanding service, and free delivery. You're going to love
Hubbard & Hoke Furniture, Blytheville and Osceola.
Andy Maness and Ryan Short back here with you in West Memphis, where the Blue Devils come away with a shutout victory over the Wynne Yellow Jackets. 21-0 is your final score, and the Blue Devils wishing the Yellow Jackets happy trails here at the end of the night.
I was about to say, this is the loudest it's been all night, and it's after the clocks have hit 0 and the fans are out on the field celebrating with the Blue Devils. Definitely a great win. First home game for the West Memphis Blue Devils this year, so you know they're glad that they put on a great performance in front of their friends and family here at home. And for Wynne, they're going to head back home, and they're going to start preparing next week as they are going to be facing Blytheville.
Yeah, a tough task against the Chickasaws, as we saw them play a little bit earlier in the year. So both teams with road games. The Yellow Jackets going to have to pick themselves up just a little bit. Meanwhile, West Memphis going to look to continue that ground game attack that we saw tonight. A 50-yard touchdown rush from Latavian Thomas, a 7-yard touchdown rush from Kelvin Love, and then, of course, that defensive front that we saw tonight, led by the likes of Hassani Adams, Allen Henry, coming up with a defensive touchdown there at the end of the game, again to end this one by a final score of 21-0. We hope you will join us next Friday night for our next broadcast, as we will be in Truman to check out their new field, as the Rivercrest Colts will head to take on the Truman Wildcats in a 4A3 conference matchup. One of the first conference matchups for the Rivercrest Colts at the 4A level, and we're excited to be bringing it to you in a new stadium.
Yeah, that's going to be the second time that we've had the privilege of covering Rivercrest this year. Once was at their place, but then, of course, they're trying to get back. They made it to deep in the playoffs, end up taking it all home last year in 3A, so you imagine they're trying to do the same in 4A this year.
We'll get another look at them next week, and we hope that you will join us. Same time, same bat channel here on Facebook Live. Make sure you follow Tubetown on Facebook. Make sure you like us, and, of course, follow us on Twitter as well. Just search for Tubetown Online. A big thanks to tonight's sponsors, First National Bank and Hubbard & Hoke Furniture. Big shout-out to those sponsors. We could not do this without them. We could not do it without you guys, the viewers at home. For everybody down in the production truck making tonight's game possible, and all of our camera crew as well. For Ryan Short, I'm Andy Maness saying so long. We'll see you next Friday night back here on Tubetown. God bless.